Wanna get fully wrecked at the Happy Turtle? Wanna get blind drunk at the Happy Turtle? Girl, get inside, find a seat and order something strong. No matter who you are, like we even care.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the reunion of Final Fantasy VII Remake podcast. I am your host, Kai, and joining me once again today is my co-host, Vyzz. How are you doing, Vyzz?
Hello, everyone. I'm doing pretty good today. I had some headache-inducing tensions earlier, but now it's pretty good because I'm here on the podcast, and it has healing properties, I tell you. Better than an elixir.
Well, I'm glad that you're feeling better. I'm doing pretty good. It is Canadian Thanksgiving weekend, so I had spent some time with my family earlier on, like during the weekend, and that was awesome. And also, Cosmo Canyon Observatory celebrated their anniversary. So congratulations, Vyzz, and the Cosmo Canyon Observatory YouTube channel.
Well,
and you guys had a community-led event on Discord, and it was amazing. So shout out to all the CCO community members for organizing such an amazing event. I had a lot of fun. It was great, just, chatting with everybody and doing some shoddy VO work for
Oh, come on. Yeah, this was hilarious.
Yeah, it was good. I think that it's been all recorded, so for our listeners, you want to check out CCO channels soon for all of the incredible shenanigans there. Hopefully it'll be posted soon. So
I hope so too. Probably an abbreviated version because sometimes we went just off the rails and it was pretty long. So maybe a shortened version, but the highlights will all be there.
Yeah. When do we not go off the rails, right?
Yeah. I think countdown is like 5 minutes and then it's time to get off the rails or something. I don't know. We'll see.
All right. So Vyzz and I are so excited today because we are joined by an awesome special guest. We have Sector 6 here with us today. So welcome.
How's it going, everybody? Thank you for having me on. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Purely hyped.
Our pleasure.
No. And to be fair, I think the pre-conversation counts as us already going off the rails. So we're already in an off-rail state.
Fair point.
Yeah, this is it. We're diving straight in.
Yeah.
If we had a Patreon, we would say, hey, you want the long, unedited version? Here you go. But
that's an idea. There you go. That's an idea.
Unfortunately, we didn't press record, so...
Next time.
Yeah.
You just have to imagine it.
Yeah, exactly. So for today's episode, it'll be a mashup of a bunch of different things. So we'll be talking about Tokyo Game Show, and we'll be discussing, obviously, we got some new information about the first soldier and actually a new trailer at TGS, a release date. Also, Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origins got a new demo, Trial 2, so we'll be talking about that as well. The second half of the episode, we will also be talking about episode intermission. It's basically our episode intermission Spoilercast that we had scheduled to record, but we had to postpone that because I was on vacation. And then I think I was out of the province, I was traveling, and Vyzz, you were on vacation and we weren't able to record it until now. So anything's on the table. We're talking, story, spoilers, gameplay, characters, any theories, the end credit scene, and obviously if you haven't played it yet and you don't know anything about episode intermission, then you should probably not listen to the second half of the episode because we're spoiling everything.
Spoiler warning.
Yeah.
Or the last 3/4 because this will be a long one, I guess.
That's true. Sorry, it's more than a half. It's like 3/4 of the episode. All right, so just starting out here, so we are talking about the first soldier TGS trailer. I just want to kind of get what your thoughts are about the trailer, if you checked it out or not. I thought that it was good. I liked they had shown some new gameplay, and they did show kind of an extended look at these soldier characters, and there was also kind of a scene, there was kind of this film grain filter over top, and Hojo was in the scene, And some people have been speculating that this is obviously from part 2 of Final Fantasy VII Remake, because it looks similar to the tape recording in Hojo shooting Gast or something like that. But people said basically that it's not, it's him shooting Vincent. So there's been some debate about that. And for me, I'm not sure if it is just directly taken from Final Fantasy VII Remake part 2, because it looks like it's animated. Like, it doesn't look like it's a 3D model to me when I kind of slowed it down and looked at it like closer. I don't know what you guys think, but yeah. So Vyzz, let's go with you first. Did you get a chance to check this out?
I did, but I only watched it once, and I think I have seen a still again later of the Hojo scene, and for me it's pretty clear it's when he shoots gas, because to the left and to the right he has normal Shinra infantrymen. So when he shot Vincent, they were alone.
Yeah.
At least in the original. I don't remember the scene in Dirge of Cerberus exactly, but I think they were alone as well. Or maybe with Lucrezia in the background or something. Yeah. So for me, it's part 2 or part 3 scene material, depending on if we will get 3 or 4 parts. And we already talked about that many episodes ago when I went on a rant about how 3 parts are almost impossible now. And
yeah, if it's going to be 3 parts, there's going to have to be pretty big changes to the narrative, I think. So it's going to go one way or the other. It's just wait and see which way it goes. I think 4 minimum.
Yeah, 4 maximum for me, but yeah.
Well, yeah, to be fair, if they go beyond 4, they're probably going too far as well. So it probably does have to be 4 or less.
Yeah.
So, Sector 6, what did you think about the trailer and about that Hojo scene? Any thoughts at all?
Yeah, so I mean, like, the trailer itself overall was quite interesting. I'm not that much of a battle royale type gamer. I don't really play those type of games that much. I've obviously messed about with them, so interest wise, I'm not overly hyped about it. But one thing I will say is that I don't play MMO games, and I've been playing Final Fantasy XIV quite a bit recently, so I'm going to give it a chance. It's that Final Fantasy aspect of it. As far as the Hojo scene, I'm 100% with Vyzz on this. It's definitely Gast that's being shot. Because on top of the fact that you've got the 2 Shinra soldiers there either side, you've also got, if you look at the background, a lot of the panels that are on the wall, they match up pretty much identically with the panels that would have been behind Hojo in that scene.
Oh, fair point, yeah. True.
Yeah, you've got like the red lights on the panels and things like that. So yeah, I'm 100% convinced about that. The other things were a bit fun though. Like we had everyone saying that, oh, that's Sephiroth. That's 100% Sephiroth.
Yeah.
I wanted to say about that as well later.
Yeah, I didn't feel that one. The one that I thought was possible was the last one. The guy that we see with the black hair who's fighting like a Bahamut type of summon. I thought that could have been Angeal, but apparently Nomura has come out and just like, no, there's no characters of importance to the story in that trailer, apparently. That's what Nomura
all
said.
Random characters, yeah.
Yeah.
Also the white-haired one.
Yeah, is that the one that's on the helicopter?
I don't remember. I only remember a still of him where people said, oh, that's young Sephiroth, and I was like,
oh, yeah, that
I
one.
don't think so.
Well, you've got the other one as well. There's a moment where you've got 3 soldiers jumping off the helicopter.
Yeah, on the helicopter.
And there was a few people that were suggesting that they could have been like parents of certain people and things like that, but
too convenient.
Yeah, I'm not feeling that.
Too fan servicey.
I don't think the timelines match up properly either.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think that works. But yeah.
I think it's a stretch.
Yeah, it's definitely people are probably desperate for any Final Fantasy VII Remake party news. So it's like, quick, that's got to be someone.
Yeah.
People's justification was that they were saying that it was Cloud's father potentially because he ended up like there was no remnants of him left, but they found his clothing. So they were talking about degradation or disintegration or whatever. So they were kind of thinking, hey, this could be Cloud's father and this is Tifa's mother. And then that was a big stretch for me, but
Tifa's mother isn't a fighter.
Yeah. she had a bit of a change of heart for a bit. She decided to try it out.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a soldier.
Yeah.
We could take it a little bit further. So this guy's Cloud's father, and this is Tifa's mother, and then obviously, so they, had a baby together.
Yeah.
So the Chloe crowd
Here we go.
will
And
explode.
so here's what happened. So yeah, so here we go. So Cloud is actually their love child.
And therefore Tifa's
Yeah.
half-brother.
Yes. So there
Oh,
we
man,
go.
that
The
makes
shipping
me,
wars are now concluded. You're welcome.
Lyrith wins.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yes.
Makes me uncomfortable when thinking of the Highwind scene,
Highwind.
but yeah.
Yeah.
We've just gone very Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, well I totally agree with you. I don't think that it's applicable to any of the characters like, Vyzz, you had said.
We do also, though, one more quick thing. We do
Mhm.
also see Hollander and Lucretia in the trailer as well. So,
I
so we've got those
Don't remember that,
Crisis
but
core
it
characters
makes
being.
sense.
Yeah, I will send you a screenshot in a bit, but there is a moment where it's kind of looking on the laboratory scene, and it looks like something's gone wrong, with one of the pods that the machinoids are in.
Oh,
Mm,
yes.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
you've got Hollander kind of facing off to the right, and you can tell it's him because of the hair, 100%. And you see him slightly earlier as well from the back. But then in the background, it looks like you've got Lucretia as well, just kind of looking at this damaged pod. And everyone seems really downbeat and downhearted. So it'd be
Okay.
quite interesting to know what's going on in that scene. But it's
Mhm.
good that we're getting these Crisis Core characters worked in, like Hollander.
Mhm.
It is 30 years ago anyway,
Yeah.
so that thing that happened to Vincent is around 30 years ago as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
I think we could see it. There is a good chance that we will see it.
And the young Hollander fits as well.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff. They did sneak a lot of stuff in there, but it was only up
They
for like
did.
a split second. Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean? And yeah, it's going to be. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know if it's going to be like a fully. I don't think it's going to be fully realized in the first Soldier. I think it's potentially a hint, like you were saying earlier, to something
Yeah.
that we could see in part 2 and part 3. Like, I definitely think that's going to be the case more than.
Or even in Ever Crisis,
Yeah.
because they said that in Ever Crisis we'll get new stories pertaining to
Keep forgetting about
the
Ever
legendary
Crisis.
soldier,
Yeah.
the youth of
Mhm.
the legendary soldier, and also other young versions of Shinra employees of the upper echelons. So
Get all them
everything
before
fits.
Crisis characters as well.
Mhm.
yeah, I hope so. I hope so.
It'd definitely be good. But yeah, I think it's going to be more of a minor thing in the first Soldier, and we'll focus more on
Yeah.
the actual soldiers, in the establishment of that organization. But every now and again, we'll probably get little snippets. That's my guess.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so too.
Same.
Yeah, I think that people were just they were just kind of excited because they were like, "Oh, part 2 content
Yeah.
confirmed in the first Soldier," right? So, like you said, we're gonna get probably these cutscenes, but I don't think that we're gonna get full fleshed out stories
Yeah.
that potentially are gonna, give us a lot of what we're getting in part 2.
Just more context, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. I'm gonna play it when it comes out.
Oh,
Absolutely.
definitely.
And Sector, I'm like you. I'm not really into these kind of like brawler
Yeah.
type games. Same thing with MMOs. I did play 14 for a bit, but that was on PS3 at the time.
Ooh,
So
the
I haven't
dark
went
days.
back
Oh,
to it.
yeah.
Yeah.
The dark days.
When it first came out, and I was paying a subscription, but I gave it up. I couldn't just keep up with it.
Yeah.
It was a lot, but yeah, something like this, I think that I would be open to it. And they did announce actually that it's going to have controller support. I think,
Yes.
which is exciting
Right,
for me
yeah.
because I don't want to be holding my phone and playing like that. I would rather play with a controller, absolutely. So I'm excited about that. I don't know how much
Hopefully it does really well, and they bring it to console eventually. That's the hope.
That would be great.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, I don't know if people who use a controller would have an advantage
Yeah.
compared to people who are playing using
Definitely.
the on-screen controls, probably. So I don't know how they're going to balance that. But when I saw them announce that, I'm like, okay, good, because this is what I want. And I enjoy playing games with a controller, on my phone. And I also have a Mac, so hopefully it comes to like Apple Arcade, and then I could just actually play it on my screen, which is good
Yeah.
because you can play apps on Apple Arcade on your Mac, right? So
On PC, there's always the option of what's it called now? BlueStacks.
BlueStacks.
BlueStacks?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. I'm tempted to give that a go.
yeah, I think that actually with Windows 11, they are going to be bringing Android apps to Windows 11 actually. So it's
Oh,
not Windows 11 is out now, so you can
yeah.
download it, but it's not a feature yet. I think it's coming
I
later.
need to change some of the security settings on my PC. It won't let me update.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
My computer, it says it's too old, so unfortunately I can't. I'm in the process of like starting to buy computer components because I'm
Yes.
gonna start to upgrade slowly.
Yeah.
But it's good because I have my Mac and it's new and I could just play it hopefully on, like I said, Apple Arcade. But
Yeah.
hopefully it comes to the Android store on Windows, because that would be super cool. You could play it on your, a larger screen instead of playing it on your phone. I would prefer that, I
Yeah,
think.
definitely.
Same, yeah.
So we did get a release date. Well, we got a release month. So
Yeah.
they did say November 2021. They didn't say the exact day. So here's hoping, everything's on schedule. I'm excited, like I said, to kind of dive into this. I'll try it. I don't know how much I'll spend on it. I was kind of addicted to that terrible Final Fantasy 15 mobile game with
Oh
the
yeah,
oh my
Empire or
gosh.
something.
Was that the side
Yeah,
scroller one?
No,
it
no,
was
no.
it was like a war.
Yeah,
Oh,
the war
right.
management sim thing.
Right. I
Yeah, the
don't
war
think I played
management.
that.
Oh, it's bad. Anyway, I got like kind of addicted. I did drop a few $100s on it, and I regret it. So
Oh boy.
Pyrosis, no. We got a whale.
yeah, exactly. So basically, they're banking on me
Don't play
playing the
Final
first
Fantasy
soldier.
14. Just
Yeah.
don't do it. Don't do it. Even I'm tempted.
Did you know that Final Fantasy 14 has a free trial that allow you to play all the way to?
To be fair, with 14, like really quickly, with it being an MMO, it's not the gameplay loop. I just don't enjoy it. I don't like the pacing, for the narrative. Like you'll go massive chunks of the game doing practically nothing. Run here, talk to this guy. Run here, talk to this guy.
Mhm.
But the Final Fantasy aspect and spin of it definitely hooks you in. Like the Gold Saucer. Oh my god.
Oh, I heard about it. Yeah.
It's too much. I can't deal with it. But it is fun. If you're a Final Fantasy fan, it is fun. But just
Mhm.
be careful. Don't have your credit card anywhere near you.
It's not like there's any room on my credit card anyway, so let's be honest. All right, so we're moving on here. We are talking about Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origins. So they did announce and immediately release the Trial 2 demo. This is kind of a sequel to the first demo. So the visuals have been improved. I think the frame rate was a little bit better. I did play it, and there were aspects of it that I enjoyed and other things that I didn't really enjoy, things that kind of need improvement. So just to go over everything. So the combat was okay. I thought that, the sword fighting was good. And also, they have jobs, which I really like. So you can switch the jobs of Jack, the main character, depending on, your drops that you're picking up. So you can pick up a weapon, that's like a lance or something, you know what I mean? And then you would change it would unlock the next job for your character once you equip that specific weapon. And I thought that was really cool because it's a good interpretation of the job system and incorporating it in, I think, an interesting way. So basically, it's like your customization is pretty much endless. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The other members of your party, I think the AI was pretty bad. They need to improve that a lot, I think, before launch, because there were times when I was battling and they were just running around doing nothing, which I think is
In
a
a
common
panic.
issue. Yeah, but like
What's going
not
on?
initiating. Yes, exactly. It was like they were being attacked and they were like, help, whatever. And I'm like, get in there and do something. Like, what is happening? You know what I mean? They're just running around in the back. I'm like, guys, come on. Oh, it's like more work, It's like, just tell them to go away. I'll just play it like single player, without anyone, just like as a, solo.
So like Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 regarding Donald
Oh,
and
God.
Goofy.
Oh my goodness, yes.
It seems like there's a lot of great ideas. There's a lot of mechanics. I feel like they need to be refined a little bit better and explained a little bit better. Like there are a lot of text pop-up menus explaining how everything works during the tutorial, like in the first demo, and that's fine. You read through them and you try to figure it out, and it's kind of like, I just want to play, so let me try it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just to kind of learn it as I'm going. And I did take time to kind of go through everything and read it. so that I understood. But there were still things that, you know, I still didn't get while I was playing. And I didn't finish it, unfortunately, and it ended today, actually, I think this morning at like 10 or 10 o'clock or something. I had planned on going back trying to finish it, but I just didn't have any time. But I'm I'm into it because I think that it's cool that we're getting, you know, Final Fantasy spin-off, and I think that it's just a hack and slash ridiculous, you know, batshit crazy kind of like, you know, let's just go for it. It doesn't have to make sense, and it's just absolutely ridiculous. And the game is pretty much just a meme at this point. And, you know, I'm into it. I think I'll probably end up buying it and just playing it, whether it's trash or not, because I just want to play a Final Fantasy, even though it's not like a mainline Final Fantasy. You know what I mean? Like, I like that they're experimenting and they're doing different things like this, and I want to support them. It's like a double-edged sword. Because it's like, if I buy it, it's like, if a lot of people buy it, then they're like, oh, they liked it, then they'll make another one. But
we'll make this forever.
Yeah, like, I just mean, like, I want them to kind of experiment and continue to do these types of spin-offs, you know, and be open to doing these different, like, playing with these different ideas that they have. I think that's good. I think it's healthy. But I don't want them to get the wrong message and think that, oh, you know, if it ends up that a lot of people buy it but it's really bad, you know, they'll just keep making them in this series, you know. But anyway, I'll probably end up getting it. I don't know what you guys think. I talked a lot about it, but
that's fine. No, I personally, I'm not quite sold yet, though I also don't really have the capacity to care right now, because next to Final Fantasy VII Remake, I'm also really engrossed in Trails series.
Yes.
Trails in the Sky. I'm playing the first one right now. Already played Trails of Cold Steel 1 and 2. So before going or advancing to 3, I need to play Sky 1, 2, and 3. So that's
That is exactly where I am as well. Play 1 and 2, playing Sky now.
Yeah. Still first chapter or farther in?
First.
Oh, first chapter as well here.
It's fun though. I like it.
It's really fun, yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Cold Steel's really good. I'm a big fan of Cold Steel.
Yeah, same. Can't wait to continue it. I love the characters.
Yeah.
And the NPCs.
Yeah, it's just the world. It's brilliant.
Yeah. Brilliant world building, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely. So yeah, but right now, I watched trailers and stuff. I haven't played the demo of Strange Paradise, but maybe I'll give it a try at some point. Maybe I'll even buy it and just play it once. I don't know. Depends on how I feel at that point. And also depends on when Final Fantasy 16 will release.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if they're coming out next to each other, 16's probably winning my money.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's about it. What about you, Sector 6? Are you getting it?
I'll probably grab it. I mean, I'm still one of the filthy non-PS5 having masses. So first job is get one of them. Although it is apparently going to be available on PS4 when it drops, which I'm a little bit concerned about that, because they've not dropped the demo on PS4, so that made me think it's going to run like a potato. That's
probably, yeah.
And I'm still on a base PS4. I didn't buy into the Pro or anything like that. I was like, no, I'll wait until the actual next gen. You know, thinking they'd be available and on shelves and things like that. What a fool.
Exactly.
But
yeah, remember when we could go to the store and buy something off the shelf?
Good days. But no, like my base PS4 will probably set on fire if I try and run it. So
maybe,
So I don't think I'm going to push that boat. I'm not going to push my luck on that one. But like, I am interested in it. It's, I don't know. The story just seems so weird. Like you said, it's practically a meme at the minute.
Yes.
And like the one scene that killed me is that video that went around on Twitter where he's having a conversation and then he just whips his phone out, pops some music on and walks off, and then gets outside and turns the music off. Like, what the fuck is this guy? What's wrong with him? So story-wise, crazy. It seems like it is going to be the origin story of Final Fantasy I from what we can see.
For sure,
And I'm a bit shocked, like we were saying earlier, that Nomura was a bit like, oh, I can't believe they figured that out. It's like, bro, it's obvious. Stop.
Well, the character's name is Jack Garland,
know,
so he was
like-
upset
Yeah.
because everybody figured out that ends up being like he's Garland, right? Who becomes Chaos.
Maybe they
so-
were just thinking that no one's played Final Fantasy 1. Like, it's that long ago, no one's bothered. It's like, no, we know what goes on there, mate.
Yeah. And the other 4 fiends?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. People are speculating that the other party members end up becoming the fiends, and this is Garland who becomes Chaos. So it's like the beginning where, you know, these are not the warriors of light. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That the
No, not
prophecy
really, no.
foretold that are gonna break the time loop. This is like the beginning, I guess. But
That's why it says Origins.
yeah, exactly. I think that he confirmed the twist live actually on the TGS
Yeah.
stream, and then it like cut to the panel or something, and it showed him after, and his face, he looked pretty pissed. So I don't know if he was upset that everybody figured it
I
out,
think he's
or
going to
maybe
go rogue soon.
yeah, they probably told him like, hey, you can't say that, like you just spoiled the game.
Well,
Now
didn't we
people
have
are
a
gonna buy-"
moment as well with Final Fantasy VII Remake 2 information that he wanted to put out, but they wouldn't let him
Yeah.
put out?
Yeah, exactly.
So I like seriously, I think we're possibly getting close to Nomura's evil arc. I think this is possibly.
Yeah, maybe that's
he's going to go.
maybe that was
Kefka.
revenge.
Oh,
The shareholders are gonna be so mad.
belts
Oh my gosh.
everywhere.
Yeah.
If the game doesn't perform well, they're just gonna blame. They're gonna blame him now, right? He's the scapegoat.
Probably. His scapegoat anyway.
Oh,
I just remember reading as well. His idea for this was he was saying that he had 2 different ideas, and then he decided that he was just gonna smush them both together or something like that. Like that was his idea for this
Oh,
game, and I'm
no.
like, just because you have 2 different ideas doesn't mean that hey, okay, let's just smush them together and that's that. You know, like it doesn't mean that they would go well together.
oh.
Remember, Vyzz? We read this. I think he said it in an article. I don't know. Anyway.
From what we can see so far, I think it's got the potential to be so bad it's brilliant. That's potentially
Yeah.
where I think we could be. I think it could end up being so narratively bad that it ends up just being phenomenal and people love it. Like gameplay wise, I'm intrigued to have a go of it because
Yeah.
it's Team Ninja, isn't it? And like I love the Neo
It is.
games. Like Neo games are so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But are you playing that for the story? Or are you playing it for the combat? Or like,
Yeah,
what
this
are you
is
playing
it.
it for?
I mean, with Neo, it's kind of a bit of both, but it is mostly the combat, the gameplay, things like
Yeah.
that. Like that's mostly the thing. So I mean,
Hmm.
I don't know. It could be a brilliant move, just making the narrative so stupid it doesn't matter, and therefore you enjoy it anyway. But we'll have to see. It's a weird one.
Oh, that's for sure, yeah. Maybe it will become Chaos Meme, the game.
I'm excited actually that it's a multiplayer Final Fantasy. So I can like play with my friends
Yeah.
online and they control other party members, which I think is really cool. And it's not just, you know, like Final Fantasy 14, which is an MMO,
Yeah.
which is something completely different. Like I've been saying this for a while, you know, like it would be really cool if we had, you know, an online Final Fantasy game that people could, you know, control the other party members. And I felt like 15 could have, you know, been
Yeah.
kind of developed that way. I don't know.
Yes.
Kind of going back to like the couch co-op days where you and your
Yeah.
mates would
Yes.
sit there and play for a game. Yeah, I know what
Exactly. Which is, I think, super cool. And
Yeah.
I'm probably the most excited for because I can play this, you know, with my friends online
Yeah.
and experience the story together. Like you said, like a couch co-op, but it's online. It is also coming out for PC. So, but it, like you said, it's kind of scares me a little bit because we haven't seen any PC footage.
Yeah.
And they
Mhm.
haven't released a demo on PC. So who knows what this PC port's going to be like? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And same thing with the PS4. We didn't
Oh,
get a
God.
demo for PS4. And the performance on the PS5 actually was pretty bad. Like the frame rate was really bad. I don't know if they're going to be able to how much optimization they're going to be able to do before this game's supposed to come out, which the release date is March 18th, 2022. And that's not that far in the
No.
future, you know? That's like
Mhm.
what, 5 months?
Yeah.
That's not very long. And from what I played, I'm not sure if, I don't know. They have a long way to go, and I don't know if 5 months is long enough. Let's just say that. We'll see, but I'm cautiously optimistic. I don't know what other games are scheduled to come out in like March, but I hope that, you know, they can get some people on board. But, you know, if there's other games coming out that are, you know, supposed to be really good, I think they're going to have a challenge selling this.
Well, this is it as well.
You know?
Because I mean, we're going to get 16 at some point, probably in the next year and a half. So if they do end up pushing this game back, it could encroach on 16 a little bit. So yeah, it's an interesting point that you've made there.
That's true, yeah. And also, there was a rumor actually that 7 Remake was
Yeah.
supposed to come out, I think, for PC in February, because I think it was a leak from Epic Game Store where they had posted it on Epic Game Store by an accident or something, or somebody had data mined the script. And Alan Wake Remastered was actually on the list, and that's where that leak came from, and that game just came out. So people are saying that, you know, that kind of gives proof, I guess, that it confirms that this is you know, the truth, that it's probably going to drop in February on Epic Game Store.
Well, that gives me a little bit of hope then, because one theory that I've had is that when they eventually drop Remake on PC, we're going to get an announcement of part 2 coming in the next 6 months to a year at the same time, because it'd be a perfect hype builder, dragging the PC crowd as much as possible, and then be like, and the second part of this story is on PS5. Do you know what I mean? I can't see the marketing divisions of these companies passing up that opportunity. Like, I just can't.
Well, I'm also like 95% sure that sometime during next year they will announce part 2, and then it will be a year until it comes out.
Yeah,
like
they'll give it. They'll give it a year, 100%.
Yeah, I think we might get a trailer. You know, like a just a teaser.
Yeah,
or something like that.
Just a couple of frames and a title. That'd do. Like, do you know what I mean? Just something to be like, it's coming. Brace yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Like with God of War Ragnarok.
Exactly. Oh God, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, same. Love the first one.
Yeah, big fan. I held off on playing it for a bit, mainly because it was going to set fire to my PS4. But I eventually soldiered through, and yeah, what a game. What a game.
It's so good.
But yeah, I'm going to pick it up on PC if it does drop on PC in February, because I want to play it, obviously, like at the highest fidelity possible, and I'm going to be upgrading my PC, so...
Can you imagine what kind of mods we'll get?
I know.
yeah.
I can imagine. I can just imagine. But that's it. Does Epic Game Store have mod support? I don't know if... Do they? I'm not sure. I think it's coming out on Epic Game Store
People
first.
will be able to do it.
Yeah, they'll be able to mod it in some way. I don't think it's got the same. I don't think it's got the same integration like Steam does. You know, like with the workshop. But I think you can still do it. You just have to use separate mod loaders and things like that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I think
Playable Don Corneo.
Oh my God! Yeah. Jiggle physics everywhere. He's got a fight like Tifa as well. I want to see him jiggling everywhere. Oh, beautiful.
Body slam attack.
Tit slap.
Yeah, we all know the first mod that people are going to make.
Oh boy.
Come on. We all know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I hate the world.
Well, the very first could actually be a little bit tamer, because Tifa's too skinny. So maybe just give a little bit more volume to like her whole body, that she doesn't have those twig arms and legs.
I believe the word is thickness.
Yes.
Thickness sounds like too much. It's more like a little bit more realistic for somebody.
I've just got Don Corneo on the mind. Sorry.
But yeah, I hope that it runs well on PC. I just hope that they optimize it well. I know that I bought Borderlands 3 on Epic Game Store, and it did not run very well. I actually stopped playing it because it had like stuttering or whatever, and apparently it was a known issue with Epic Game Store. And I'm like, I'm not rebuying it on Steam, you know, so I just didn't even end up playing it.
Okay.
But yeah, anyway.
It's bad that as well, because if you play it for so much, you can't refund it, can you?
No,
so you're
exactly.
Stuck.
You can't. Yeah, the time ran out. I couldn't refund it. And apparently this is like a known issue now with more PC games, because there's, I think there's like DRM.
Yeah, I was about to say DRM stuff.
That was like, it was like that in Resident Evil Village, actually, because there are some parts that were like stuttery. And I think it's because they have this it's like always online DRM. That is like using a lot of your resources, I guess, like memory and stuff.
Yeah, I think Cyberpunk
Mhm.
have just had something like that on good old, on GOG. I think it was a Hitman game that they released, and like the
Yeah.
DRMs just ruined it.
Yeah. Was it the Denuvo? Because I heard bad things
It
about the
might be,
Denuvo,
yeah,
Yeah.
which constantly
Yeah.
drags down performance.
You'd think people would learn though, because this has happened a lot over the last 10 years or so. With
Mhm.
I mean, EA were doing it 10
Yeah.
years ago with like the SimCity games being online only, and if your internet connection goes down, unlucky, you're not playing the game. And it's just madness. You'd think they'd learn.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just the performance hit, right? It's just for me, it's kind of
Yeah.
like, okay, I bought this game and I want to support the developers and I'm not pirating it, but it should run on my computer. Obviously it's really hard to optimize for so many different graphics cards, so many different like CPUs and everything. I understand, but you know,
I love that we got piracy in
yeah.
there as well. It's a hot topic at the minute. Naughty Kotaku. Naughty.
All right, guys. So here we go. We are moving on. We are talking about episode intermission spoilers. So we're quickly just going to go over, I guess, our likes and dislikes, if any, for each individual category here. So we're talking about gameplay first. So I really love the gameplay. I thought it was awesome. I really appreciated the synergized attacks, and I've said this before. So I think that they added this new element of gameplay because they were testing the hardware, but also I think we're testing just to see like what they would be able to kind of bring to the table for part 2. So I'm hoping that this is going to be an extension of the combat system in part 2, and we're going to see this kind of expanded even more. Yeah, I loved the ranged aspect of Yuffie's combat style, like throwing and calling back the shuriken and, at command, and then using the ninjutsu elemental attacks. I loved that. I did feel that it kind of made materia a little bit redundant. So the magic materia, like the spells.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because you could just use the ninjutsu to exploit, enemy weaknesses. So I didn't really find myself using or equipping, magic materia, like, elemental spells kind of. I thought that the aiming could have been better, especially that box mini game or whatever. I don't know if you guys
Oh yeah.
beat that 100%. I did, and it took me a long time. And I hope that mini game dies a very horrible death and we never see it again. I did not go on
I
in the
tried
story.
for a while, but
I told Vyzz, I'm like, I'm not going on until I finish this. Like, I'm not letting this mini game defeat me.
I will
Yeah.
defeat. Yeah. I will.
Even though
defeat
the
this. I will.
reward was like an EXP materia, which I guess is, it's good for.
Doesn't really
It
matter.
doesn't really matter. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but I was like, I don't care. I'm not letting it defeat me, So I just kept doing it. And I did learn the patterns. But the thing is like I had to memorize where the camera was going to go as well and what to aim on when and what to kind of turn the aim, like the auto aim, lock on. I mean, the lock on. When to turn that on, turn it off, whatever. And memorize the patterns. It was really annoying. Anyway, I just said here in the notes, dear God, whoever made this, please fix it. I said, F that minigame.
Yeah.
Anyway, it took me like 2 days to beat it, but anyways. I said that aerial combat is improved. I hope that it's, similar in part 2, where they improve on it even more. And Fort Condor was amazing. I think that was probably my favorite part. I think. I mean, I loved obviously being able to play as Yuffie and learning more about, this new story that was added. Like, what was she doing throughout the events of the game? Because we don't necessarily know, because in the OG, she's a side character that you can miss, and then she just happens to, you just get in a random, battle with her, and then she steals your materia, and you're like, who is this person? What's going on? And also, Wutai is completely missable. So I did appreciate, this extension of I guess her as a character and some backstory there, of the events that were happening, what she was going through during the events of the OG. I thought that was super cool. So, and yeah, Fort Condor was awesome. I love this take of the minigame, and I feel like this is the best iteration. And I'm hoping that it makes an appearance maybe in part 2, or I don't know if it will or not, but I'm sure there will probably be like a reference to it. I don't know if we'll see it, like actually be able to play it again, but maybe Anyway, yeah.
I do think the Fort Condor thing is going to come back. I think you are going to get your wish on that one. But I kind of feel like this Fort Condor minigame is basically a training for the actual Fort Condor mission that we're going to do. Probably at around the point if the huge materia hunt happens.
The latest,
because in the I don't think it's going to be like it is in the OG where you're running forwards and backwards to Fort Condor to get a few potions. Yeah, that was horrific. I think that's why people kind of hated it so much, because it does. I mean, I quite enjoyed it, but a lot of people dislike the original Fort Condor minigame. So yeah, I think we will see it, but later. Do you know what I mean? And there is a possibility that the minigame stays in, sort of like Triple Triad. You can challenge people out in the world. Yeah, that would be quite fun. Well, yeah, that I just wanted to jump in and say that. Sorry.
No, that's great. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you.
Although, if you really think about it, this game was only brought to the slums because Chadley wanted to like find someone who could beat him and then also learn how to like learn more about how the Wu-Tines would like react or strategize.
That's true.
For such a battle. Like get intel, so to speak. So yeah, maybe it's
might not see it out in the world.
Maybe not. Yeah, maybe I don't know what Chadley's deal is. It's hard to say.
We'll definitely have to talk about Chadley at some point. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, are you through with your pros and cons, Kai?
Yes.
Okay, good. So, all right, let's get Sector 6's thoughts out first.
So with me, I've obviously still not got that PS5, so I've not played it, but I have spoiled myself on everything. So as far as the gameplay goes, I'm not 100% on like what kind of changes have been implemented, but from what I've heard from everybody, it's very much them kind of testing the evolutions that they want to put into the battle system for Part 2. That makes the most sense, 100%. So I definitely think that's going to be the case. But yeah, on the gameplay, I've not really got too much to contribute. I liked the combo attacks and things like that. Some of those look really cool, and it'll be good because it kind of hints that we're going to see things like that in Part 2.
So, yeah.
Especially with... So in Advent Children, you have the dynamic between Red 13 and Kate Sith, where Kate Sith kind of basically rides around on Red 13. Yeah. If they are going to implement Kate Sith into combat in some way, I think that is potentially going to be the most sensible way to do it. So we could see a lot more combo attacks and party members linking up with each other and everything. And I think that'd be brilliant because the combat system would definitely suit that kind of thing as well.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So, quite hyped for that. But yeah, on the gameplay, I've not really got too much, unfortunately.
Okay, then I'll jump in with some things. As you said, combat improvements have been made a lot, and especially for Yuffie, there was no issue regarding mid-air battles.
Yeah.
So her air battles are almost perfect, I think, because you can do whatever you want. If you want, you can just air juggle the enemy all the way, or just keep in the air all the time if you do it right. So there's so much nuance to her combat that many people say that she's almost OP right now. If her current gameplay would be just ported 1-to-1 to Part 2, and the others not accurately like brought to her level. So it's maybe she'll get nerfed in some way. I really hope not. I really hope she stays the same and the others get receive more interesting gameplay as well, like get elevated to almost the same status, so to speak.
I mean, it could be a case that she doesn't join up with us for a while. So maybe we keep seeing her in the narrative, like we potentially see her at Fort Condor or something like that. But she doesn't maybe join up with us until later on in the Wu-Tai section that I think we're definitely going to get. And by that point, everyone will have been brought up to her standard, maybe.
It is possible, however, I kind of don't see her joining later than Fort Condor.
Yeah, I'd prefer her earlier rather than later, definitely.
Yeah, because there's so much with her to do in Junon and Costa del Sol and all the other parts. But
Oh yes, Costa del Sol.
yeah, and especially when she's been introduced now, also in gameplay, and then we don't see her until I don't know how far down the line. That would just feel weird. So I think she'll be introduced during the first third of part 2 or something. That's just my guess. Could happen anything.
In the forests around Fort Condor.
yeah. Something around there. Yeah, somewhere around there for sure. And speaking of Fort Condor, I loved that one. It was just so much fun to go through. Sometimes I kind of hit the roadblock, like Wedge the first time.
Yeah, same.
Like lost like 3 or 4 times, but then went to sleep, and on the next day I just beat him first try.
Yeah.
But other than that, I had a blast with that. Easily the most hours I put into Fort Condor, comparatively.
Yeah, Chadley on hard mode was difficult.
Yeah, definitely.
I did
on
beat
hard
him,
mode,
but it took me a while.
Yeah. He's a beast there. On normal mode, I beat him first try. It was close, but I beat him first try.
Nice.
On hard mode, I don't know. I think I didn't quite look it up, but I started watching a video to like get like a spark of an idea, and then as soon as I saw something, I just cut the video and tried something myself, because I just needed to think a little bit differently than
change the perspective.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
because I had too many units which cost too much.
Yeah, that was me.
At the end, I just had like units that cost like 2, like all those 2s, those little guys I had in there, and a hound guard dog, and just went nuts on the first outpost with the guard dog and the others.
That's what I did. Yeah. Same strategy.
And with the magic spells as well.
Oh yeah, I did the same thing.
Yeah. You just had to get rid of the first outpost really fast, and then it's easy to target the main one, and the second outpost you can completely ignore. And then it's pretty easy. It's pretty easy, yeah. You still need to watch what you're doing, but still it's comparatively easy. All the other attempts, I failed miserably. Like the first minute was okay, but in the end, he just had the upper hand with so many units on the field. It was just not funny anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Other than that, I kind of also like the Happy Turtle side quests. Not really just running around, but finding the things, and kind of the humor in some of them, like trying to.
So that's the one that's kind of like the equivalent of Turtle Paradise, isn't it?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Finding the flyers. And the best one was the dog, trying to not wake up the dog. I found that hilarious.
I'm glad that they used the dog, because like when you play through Intergrade, right? Like the dog doesn't really do anything.
No,
so
it's just there.
Yeah, I liked that. I thought that was cool.
And was an opportunity to include Marl again. That's fine. That was pretty cool.
Exactly. I think she's a great character.
Yeah, for sure. She's one of
she's so sassy.
Top, I don't know, top 6, top 5 or something for me. It's really good. Of the new, at least.
Yes.
New ones. Yeah. And also the music. Dear Lord, the music. It's it just keeps getting better and better. Her battle edit, I think there's not a single player or fan of the game that doesn't love the battle edit of Yuffie's theme. It is just so good. And the atmosphere in during Nero's battle, it's so creepy. I think they just nailed it with the music again.
Yes.
Also regarding Happy Turtle.
Yeah, when you watch that fight, it comes off really like you were saying, like a dark atmosphere.
Yeah.
Like, they did a really good job, because in Dirge of Cerberus, he kind of comes across as really a bit weird and cheesy and corny.
Yeah.
And they've kind of flipped that and made it work. And yeah, I was a big fan of that.
Yes, for sure. Also, the lighthearted parts, like the Happy Turtle had like 5 or 6 versions of the song.
Yeah.
Like the normal ones at the old snapper, and then the 5 or what was it? No, six posters. I think there were, and even one with the singer of those Devil May Cry songs, the Shooty HQ or H, I think it's called. It's the metal version. I love that one.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. There's just so many. There's so many good things, and I also really like that they made sure how the timelines are connected. Like when Yuffie enters Sector 7, where the others are. Like that
Yeah.
Cloud and Aerith also just entered Sector 5 proper, and when they went for the Shinra HQ, that the others were also just sent to the sewers,
Yeah.
like with the cutscene, with the intermission cutscene, kind of with the Reeve, and seeing Barrett and Tifa come back and stuff. I think, it was brilliantly made. Just
Yeah, they did a really good job of weaving it in with
Yeah.
the events that actually take place in like the main narrative. Yeah, they did a really good job of that because everyone's out of the way when they need to be out of the way, but they're there when they need. Yeah, it works. Definitely works.
Exactly. And Jessie's just there recuperating from her injury, and oh man, Roche, I love seeing him
Oh
there.
God.
It's so funny. He's such a weird one.
Yeah, it was great seeing him again.
Oh, Roche.
Yeah, just integrating all the side characters again.
Yeah, it's definitely good to see a lot of the characters dotted around the area, and they did it in a way that made sense as well for the most part. Like there wasn't really a moment like even Roche, you're not thinking like why is he here, because it makes sense that he's there. He's looking for Cloud. So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
yeah, they've done a good job of making it all fit together. Like definitely.
I just had a thought. Why
Oh,
didn't
here we
we
go.
see Biggs? Or why didn't Yuffie see Biggs? Because he's the only one who survives in Remake. The other ones don't, and apparently don't. So Yuffie saw the other ones. So she has interactions with Jessie and Wedge in Intermission. And in part 2 or 3, she has interaction with Biggs. Because that's still to come. The others probably not. That's just the thought I had right now. The reason why... Well, she sees Biggs, but doesn't interact. So she doesn't really have...
There's a lot of weird stuff going on with Biggs
Yes.
at the minute. There's
definitely...
there's a plan with Biggs, 100%. Because I mean, you've got, like you were saying, him seemingly surviving at the end of Remake. You've got him not really being someone that Yuffie meets. You've got the revelation in A Trace of Two Pasts that
right.
that
was a big one.
Sorry, not the nursery, the orphanage.
Yeah.
And so he bailed that orphanage out because the previous owners were basically abusing the children there and selling them and things like that.
Yeah.
So he bought it out and took over it. So he's kind of like got a savior thing going on there.
Yeah, and he even protected Aerith back then when he also was just a child there. Yeah.
So there's a lot going on with Biggs, and I've not really got a clue where they're going with it. But there's something like 100. It definitely warrants more attention, I think.
And isn't also he who has a sister we see or can talk to in Dirge of Cerberus in the train graveyard? Because there's a sister that talks about the brother who she lost in the Platefall. It could be Wedge or Biggs, but I'm kind of feeling it's Biggs because Wedge already has a brother.
Yeah.
But called Quedge.
Oh god.
Yeah. And he even was meant to appear in the Honeybee Inn, but they cut it. They cut that whole part with Palmer as well. But that's why they included Palmer again in at the Honeybee Inn to kind of make a throwback to that cut content.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got me thinking about Biggs now.
You're welcome.
No, there's definitely something.
Yes, for sure.
Well, back to it.
Back to the pros, yeah. Also, Yuffie's portrayal in general, I really loved it. I've heard also so many people say that they weren't sold on Yuffie back then in the original. She was kind of annoying at times and a little bit underused and just had this one side quest and was sometimes a little bit one-dimensional. I don't quite agree because if you really pay attention, she has more than just this one quirk to her, especially in certain scenes. For example, when Aerith dies, she just goes off the rails and cries and runs away.
Right.
So
Especially if you play through the Wu-Tai storyline
Yeah.
as well, you get a lot of stuff
Mhm.
there.
yeah, there as well. Yeah, she's more than that. But the original just had too little opportunities to make her shine.
Yeah.
Really. And this intermission just has blown it out of the water, in my opinion. She kind of seems like this just a quirky girl that thinks she owns the world and stuff at the beginning, but then you just learn more about it, more her softer side and inner side, especially when she's interacting with Sonon and sometimes showing a little bit of her more vulnerable side, especially when he meets his end. It's really well made, I think.
Yeah.
So they've been laying great groundwork for part 2,
Mhm.
I think. But that also brings me to cons. Just starting with that, Shinra HQ entry and exit.
Oh God.
I think I've
Yes.
mentioned that somewhere else. I don't remember where. Maybe
Mhm.
even on our spoiler-free episode of this, or also on Baby Seal episode. I think I mentioned this as well.
Oh, possibly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably the one where you were there as well with.
It was just insane the way it went down, though.
Yeah.
Like just walking in.
Yeah,
basically.
just walking in, nobody gave a damn, and I don't know. And she just runs out. Nobody really
Yeah,
bats an
covered in
eye.
blood. You know?
Yeah, just she already looks Wu-Taian with all the getup and stuff,
Mhm.
but nobody cares. It's just what how Sonon as well.
Yeah.
With the staff and stuff, and also the shoulder pads, the same that the old Wu-Taian warriors back then in Zack's days, Zack and Sephiroth's days wore. So it's I don't know. This really bothered me.
It was very much an oversight. I feel.
That's why I feel that chapter 2 was rushed, like story-wise, was pretty much rushed.
Yeah.
Maybe they had more planned or wanted to like elaborate on certain things a little bit more. But yeah, I think the start and the end were quite rushed. It was good with this whole Scarlet thing in this materia section. How do you call this? The materia laboratory or something.
Mhm.
This whole like 3, 4, or 5 story part, and the whole testing site as well. I think this was made very well, especially in terms of gameplay. I think it was fun to play through. A little bit repetitive towards the end, but still, I think was well made. Others might disagree. I don't know. But yeah, just this introduction and then the ending. It was just too quick, way too quick.
Yeah, from what I've seen of it, it definitely seems like the pace just goes into overdrive towards the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, for sure.
To me, it seemed like when I was playing it, I just felt like they knew that they were coming and they wanted them there. Like that was my understanding of why, like their entry and exit. It was like expected. You know what I mean? Maybe they had intel
From
or something and was
Scarlet,
expecting them.
probably, but not the reporters, not the other low employees, not the mere infantrymen. I don't think they are in the loop.
Yeah, I would have thought the guy on the door would have had a few questions.
Yeah.
Like, excuse me, what?
Yeah, yeah.
Where are you going?
Hmm.
Although, to be fair, they were in. There was a commotion going on anyway.
There was loads of journalists
Yeah,
there, wasn't
yeah.
there? Yeah.
Because there were
Yeah.
mumblings about platefall, I think, or something, or like a terrorist attack was
Yeah.
announced. So, yeah.
Yeah, Shinra were putting that narrative out
Yes,
there.
yes, for sure, for sure.
Suppose it'd suit them to have a Wu-Tai like military member running around the tower because they can be like, look, Wu-Tai were involved
Yeah,
as well.
exactly.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. It still felt weird because the reaction
It
just
did.
wasn't there.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. From what I saw of it, it was like, no way are they just letting these people run in and out of the building? What's going on?
Yeah. Although didn't one infantryman kind of catch their sight, like wanted to go there to go to Yuffie, or was it just to grab the journalist who wasn't supposed to be there? because I remember Sonon grabbing Yuffie and taking her, nudging her away.
Yeah, I think it was for the journalist, but they needed to quickly move,
Yeah.
otherwise they were probably going to be caught as well. Yeah.
Oh, right, because the journalist was already nagging
think-
them. Yeah, true. But yeah, it's weird. So I think they entirely focused on Scarlet. Scarlet was the main villain in that segment, I feel. So that's why the parts where she was around and on the stage, so to speak, those parts were fine and paced pretty well. But after she leaves and before she appears, I think it's pretty much rushed, like as if they just had the framework and needed to fill the gaps and didn't have time to elaborate enough. That's how I felt playing it.
Yeah, they knew where they wanted to be.
Yeah. And while I liked Sonon's end and the portrayal was a little bit on the nose, but I think how it happened was a bit too quick. But the whole sequence itself was fine. Just before and the after was a little bit rushed. And then she sees plate fall, cries, fade to black, and then she's just there on the chocobo.
Yeah, that was a little jarring, just the tone. And I've read this online as well, I think on the Reddit, or it was on a YouTube comment. Somebody was saying the same thing, that it was a little jarring where, it was like a blood-curdling scream, sadness, like whatever, fade to black, and then, it's just like you're supposed to forget everything. Yeah, like...
Well, they've said that they leave at roughly... So she leaves Midgar at roughly the same time that the party does, so she's probably had like a day swanning around, getting things sorted. It would have been interesting to see a little bit of that.
Yeah, the thing is, the theory I have is that Sonon, he told us that he was scouting out Wall Market, and what is in Wall Market? Chocobo Sam, and the Chocobo Yuffie rides has the same harness that Chocobo Sam's Chocobos have. So she probably remembered Sonon saying something about Wall Market, went there, searched around, found the Chocobos. Maybe even Sonon's exit strategy, I don't know. Maybe I talked about it off screen. Yeah. And then she took one, and that's why she's ahead. She took the Chocobo, and the others just walked for quite a while.
Yeah.
Sure, they had Chocobo Billy, but Chocobo Bill. Billy is the small one. But they stopped at Calm, and Yuffie doesn't, because she's still on the Chocobo when she's overlooking the marsh. And yes, I'm still 99.9% sure that she's overlooking the marsh, the Solar Marsh. So yeah.
Well, that'd be interesting, yeah.
That's where I'm at right now. And that's why she... it depends what she does afterwards. She probably also has to, like, find somewhere to sleep, to stay. Maybe she finds Fort Condor, stays there for a little bit, and that's where we find her or something. Maybe she uses it at the base for a while, and we meet her outside in the woods.
Well, this is one thing I really strongly expect, because I don't think those characters from Avalanche that were in Sector 7 will have been there when the plate fell. So, like GJ.
Oh, they're out of Sector 7, definitely, yeah.
And I think they're going to be at Fort Condor, so it'd make sense definitely for Yuffie to be there as well.
Yeah, sure. That's a good point. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I like that idea.
And I'm pretty sure that they want to leave Midgar for good, because after all this Sector 7 debacle, I don't think they want to stay any longer. Yeah, because Shinra's on their toes.
Things got a bit messy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, for sure.
There are issues.
Yeah. And they're not in Sector 5 either. Was it Sleepy Seas, or was it Mo's theory that they saved Biggs, brought him to Sector 5?
Oh, yeah.
To the orphanage, and that's why...
I can't remember who it was.
That's Mo's theory, that he notices that none of the children talks, or none of anybody involved with the orphanage talks to us, or there's no NPC chatter in Chapter 14. None whatsoever. Not the children, not the teachers. They don't say anything, but before, all of them say something. Even in Chapter 13, when we return to Aerith's home, to Elmira.
And we circle back round to Biggs.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's definitely going to play into this expanded Avalanche Wu-Tai storyline, though.
Yes, for sure.
There's got to be some connection there.
Yeah,
Has to be.
Mhm.
yeah. There's a lot going on. That's what I like.
Yeah, there's different layers of. You can go as deep as you want, and you'll find something new at each kind
Right.
of level. And yeah,
It's so
I really
crazy.
enjoy it. Yeah,
Mm.
especially with this Avalanche, because that was one of the big things in the original game. Like, not so much Avalanche, but Wu-Tai's story.
Mhm.
So much potential there that they couldn't, they just couldn't use it in the original game, whether that was technical limitations or time limitations. And they've got that opportunity now to really flesh it out. And yeah, I'm expecting big things from that side thread.
Yes, for sure.
I can see Barrett being heavily involved in it as well.
Mhm.
I think it'll give him a bit more to do because, like in the original game, once you get past Coral, once you get past Cosmo Canyon, Barrett for the most part is done.
Red 13 as well.
Realistic.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Well,
Red 13 as well. A lot of characters just drop off on that first disc. Like, they have their full character arc pretty much, and that's it. Whereas this Avalanche Wu-Tai thing definitely extends Barrett's storyline
Right,
Yes,
that's
much
true.
for
further.
sure.
And Yuffie's.
Mhm.
Yes. And I hope we get more for Nanaki, like with
Yes.
Hojo, and I hope they
Mm.
they somehow introduce Dine in a way, maybe not in person, but like include that arc from
Yeah.
Before Crisis.
I've seen a few people saying as well that they want to see the inclusion. What were the names now? There was 2 different versions of Red 13.
Oh
was it
yeah,
Cobalt
the
13 and
Indigo
something
and
else? That's it.
Indigo
I think
14
it's Cobalt.
and Cobalt 15, or the other way around. Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen a few people suggesting we might see them. I'm not too sure about that one, but it would be interesting, as a little nod to that bit of cut content.
Maybe, but I think they said they would have had to introduce it in Midgar already, so I don't think that's
much earlier.
Yeah, much earlier. It also would kind of dilute the whole clones thing, which is reserved for the Black
Yeah, we've got to
Cloaked
keep
people.
that. Yeah, we've got to keep that.
All right, I have 2 very small cons, and then I think we can go on to
Yeah.
the next part. So you both probably remember busting boxes in this factory with Yuffie and Sonon. It's still chapter 1, where you
Oh,
just
yeah.
we could
Yeah.
kill so many boxes, or destroy so many boxes on the
Yeah.
while on the conveyor belt, and there's like a score at the end, but nothing comes of it. No trophy, no nothing. Why did I do this? It was fun, but still, yeah, kind of bummed me out.
I was annoyed because I couldn't get them all.
Yeah, same.
And then you couldn't retry. Like, it was just
Yeah,
I
just
felt the
replay the
same
chapter,
way.
but
Mhm.
yeah. And there was even a note from Gigi at the beginning. If
Oh,
you
right.
like go to the side to the left before you
Mhm.
start the game. And also, some probably didn't experience that on some streams or Let's Plays. I didn't see it, but I had a glitchy Moogle cloak. In some scenes when Yuffie
Oh,
went
really?
into certain poses, her Moogle cloak glitched out and like shivered a little bit, like jumped.
Yeah, that's true.
between
I
frames,
saw
jumped
it, like,
around.
it was like shaking, shivering, kind of
Yeah,
like
yeah.
awkwardly.
Oh no.
It's a little bit weird, but that's about the only visual
Hmm.
glitch I experienced. I think was not really much else. Maybe the occasional clipping, but that's unavoidable. There's always clipping somewhere.
Yeah, this is it. You always get that.
Yeah.
It did look really, like, graphically, it looks on point.
Yeah.
Like, there was
Oh,
very
for sure,
few
yeah.
issues from what I saw. Nothing like we got in Remake with, like, the door and the
Yeah.
background textures, things like
Mhm.
that. So, yeah. It makes me hopeful that Remake Part 2 is going to look absolutely
yeah.
astonishing.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hyped for that.
Yes. Definitely. Anything from your side, Sector 6, or are we good for the next part?
I mean, other than everything that we've kind of covered there, like, with not playing it, it's a bit tough for me to properly formulate,
True.
a complete opinion
Mhm.
on it. But a lot of the things that I've taken from it narrative-wise, it just seems like it's expanding on the characters that maybe didn't get as much time as they could have done, and the story threads that didn't get as much time as they could have done in the original game. And I am 100% here for that. And from everything that I've seen, the execution on it was just phenomenal in comparison to, say, Dirge of Cerberus or something like that. So it's given me a lot of confidence going forwards that we're not only going to get a really substantially upgraded version of the original, but we're also going to get a lot of expansion in areas where they might have wanted to do, but they couldn't back then. Yeah, so and it's like I say, I think you said it earlier, Kai. It's a test for the PS5. You know what I mean? To get used to doing the things on the PS5 and see what the machine's capable of, and judging by what everyone's, what I've seen everyone do on it. Yeah, we're going to have a fun time over the next few years with Final Fantasy VII Remake. Oh, yes.
Yes.
I agree with everything that you said. I feel like the Avalanche HQ members were a little underutilized. I feel like they could have used them a little bit more. But I did appreciate them as characters. I thought they were cool. And, I hope we see them again. And I think that's
100%.
We already talked about that. Obviously, maybe they got out before, the plate fell and, they're at Fort Condor. And that would make sense for continuity with the storyline as well with Yuffie. And, they already met. They have that camaraderie kind of. So it would make sense. And I hope we see them again. I hope that I'm sure we will. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just hope that they're not kind of like throwaway characters, and
I hope not.
At least one or two of them.
Yes.
At the very least, I think we'll see one or two of them.
I don't mean like storylines or whatever, but just to, for the continuity to see them again, maybe chat with them a little bit as NPCs, and maybe that's it. But it feels like, what you did in Intermission, it continues into part 2, and and Yuffie reacts differently because of like everything that's happened, you know what I mean? And it continues. It's not just like, they're there for a purpose and then they've served their purpose and they're never seen or heard from again. And then you're just conveniently supposed to forget that happened. And then, you know what I mean? Like, kind of read between the lines and make things up in your mind, I guess. And it's just like, no, just tell us, like, I want to see that.
It will also feel very weird if they introduce those characters specifically in Intermission in only one chapter, and then they're forgotten completely.
Never again.
It would be just weird. It's the DLC, and if they introduce characters there, even if they're side characters, but still integral to the whole Avalanche arc, they need to appear again, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I love Sonan as a character. I'm really sad about his demise. I thought it was really well done. Also Deep Ground, Nero, also I felt like it was a better characterization of Nero than the compilation.
Sure.
It was an improvement, and that part was scary. It was creepy for me, and that battle was it was epic. They did a really good job. So
I also think something that Remake really has going for itself is show, don't tell. They have they do so many things just with visuals, with facial expressions, with gestures, with little words.
Yeah,
like something. I think it's Phil Hartshorn who said it a couple of times on several occasions that when you meet Nero first time, or when they talk to each other just before the fight begins, Yuffie asks him, "Hey, aren't you a team? Why are you killing them and stuff?" And he just says, "Team? There are no teams in Deep Ground."
Yeah.
It's just he doesn't need to start the villain speech. He just says that, and that says all. You don't need to bump the player over the head with some explanations and backstory or whatever. Just say what you need to say, and that's good. Like multi-layered dialogue. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so moving on here, we are going to talk about I don't know how you want to pronounce it.
Vyzz.
Some people say Weiss. Chadley and Hojo. So Vyzz, you can start us off with this.
Gladly. So first of all, there's digital replication in VR. I don't think this concept has been done before in. Well, it did in Crisis Core, I guess, with the VR missions where they
Yeah.
recreated Sephiroth in there,
Yeah.
even. So there's something there, but this was just like a projection, not really. Here it's much more. It's like copying a whole being with all the emotions and stuff into VR,
Right.
and then improving on it, as Chadley said. But that's also very interesting that when you beat Vyzz, you see Hojo for a few seconds, as if he knows, or this digital replication knows about Dirge of Cerberus, as their memories of Dirge of Cerberus are in there. So again, we are in the memories of the live stream, and this all already happened. So all those memories are already around, and Chadley probably knows that. So there's the more we find, the more it goes on, the more we see and experience. Nothing of my main theories are like crushed. They are rather reinforced, I feel.
Yeah.
So this is feels good, but also I don't know. It's still really hard to predict all those things where it leads and stuff. But it's great. I
There's
think
definitely something there,
yeah.
though, 100%.
It also makes so much sense because the main concept of Final Fantasy VII is memories, live stream memories, and cycle of life and stuff. So just digging into those themes, those concepts, the lore is I think it's perfect to do, and not just introduce something new like time travel and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's really what's going on. It's still, for me right now, Chadley is the biggest question mark. He knows stuff. He has ties to the future. Yeah, it's weird.
No, he's definitely a very dodgy guy, Chadley.
Oh yeah.
There's something. I mean, like when you're playing through the original game, you kind of get the vibe that he's not the original game,
Yes.
Remake.
Yeah.
You get the vibe that there's something not right with him, and then when you finish all of the VR battles, you
Yeah.
kind of realize like, oh,
Yeah.
so you basically Robo Hojo then.
Yeah, he's a cyborg, yeah. First of all,
going forwards, when you see him in Intermission,
yes,
there's a completely different slant on him. It's like he's a lot darker and a lot more
much more
condescending.
calculating, yeah.
Yeah, like
condescending as well.
This is what makes him scary as well, because can you imagine if Hojo was not a crazy madman? You would be a lot more dangerous, and this is kind of what we're getting with Chadley potentially.
Yeah, I've got a good point there. I haven't thought about this. Yeah, that's an interesting point actually.
Because I mean, Hojo's big problem is that he's just a bit absolutely crazy, and there's not really a major. He does have plans and schemes and things like that, but there's not an overall coherent plan. He just kind of goes with it to a certain extent.
He has a lot of chaos inside of him.
Yeah, whereas Chadley comes across as just as conniving and manipulative, but much more reserved as well, and more in control of what he's doing. And yeah, I have weird feelings about Chadley.
Almost like Sephiroth.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
Oh boy.
There's a lot more to learn about Chadley.
Oh yeah,
a lot more.
There certainly is. There certainly is. And yeah, I really hope we get more Zviet revelations in the future. Not the revelations, reveals, I mean. Like not just through Vyzz's battle stances or battle tactics. Is it phase 2 where he uses Azul's gun? I think it was phase 2. And phase 3 he uses like this double sword like Rosso does.
I'm not sure what order it is, but I know he rotates.
Yeah, he rotates. Yeah, definitely. But that makes sense because even in lore he can use the like he has the skills and the abilities of the others. Except Shulk? Yeah, he can.
I'm sure there's one that he hasn't, yeah.
But he can't, no. He has also Shulk's S&D ability, that as well. But he doesn't have what Nero has. Like, Nero and him are polar opposites. They don't have
Separate.
anything from each other.
Yeah.
But other than that, he has the abilities from the others as well. So, yeah.
I do think there's a good chance we will see at least hints of the Sphex again. I mean, we might not see them in as much of an exposed way as we've just seen with Vyzz and Nero, but I do think we'll see something.
Maybe during the raid on Midgar or something.
Yes.
That's I've heard a lot of that, and that's also one of my first thoughts, because that's the only other way they could sensibly include those without shoehorning them in, I guess.
Yeah, because they're not going to send them out into the world.
No.
That's not going to happen. Yes, run free, destroy everything.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Oh, that'd be horrid.
Yeah. So what about you, Kai? Any other thoughts about Vyzz, Chadley, or Hojo?
I just want to know more about Chadley. He is up to something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's, I don't know. I don't trust him.
He's a weird one.
Yeah. And as you guys are talking, I'm sitting here and just thinking about, I'm thinking about this crazy theory that, Remake is actually, the whole thing is just an actual VR simulation.
Yeah.
And everything that we're experiencing while we're playing the game is actually just in VR.
Yeah.
Sephiroth's outsourced.
Chadley's VR,
yeah. So he's basically like an AI or robot that's like enslaved everyone. I mean, it sounds like the Matrix.
Let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So Remake is just the Matrix. Let's be. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
If you look really closely at the strand of the live streams, it's just code.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
True.
Now you're starting something.
Strands of code. Yeah.
Oh,
Who knows?
no.
Who knows?
And
What have
codes
we
can get corrupted as well.
Yes.
And that explains.
Genoa's a virus.
Yeah, exactly.
Dun, dun,
That
dun.
explains it. That explains it.
Yeah.
That's why we're seeing Sephiroth so early on in the game, and like things are different because maybe it's just
memory has got corrupted.
it's reloading.
Oh, there's definitely.
Yeah.
See, one of the things that I'm thinking is with Sephiroth having done whatever he's done in order to come back, because there's a few different possibilities in the way he's done it, but he's definitely damaged the live stream in some way. And what we're seeing is these memories, these corrupted memories seeping through to people. I think that could explain, I think it was you, Vyzz, that said a minute ago about seeing that flash of Hojo for a moment.
Yeah.
With Vyzz. I think that could potentially be one of these kind of things that seeped through.
Yeah.
Due to whatever Sephiroth's up to, because it is still completely open what he's up to. Like,
It is.
I change my mind every day.
What if Sephiroth realized he's in the Matrix and tries
Exactly.
to
Oh, God, no.
escape?
Well, he's figured it out that he's in a VR simulation or something, and he can travel through, and he's looking for something. I mean, he's trying to do something. We just don't know.
He needs
yet,
cloud
obviously.
to escape.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I was just thinking, because you were talking about Chadley and he's an AI, or he's like a robot and he's
Cyborg, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I was thinking, and why is he gaining intel from Yuffie and everybody else? It's just that it's just a whole program simulation. Like, why have they put a focus on VR? And Nomura has said this, and the same thing with the first soldier. That whole thing is just a VR simulation.
Yeah.
To train soldiers. So I'm thinking, maybe this is...
They are definitely making it a much bigger thing than
Making
it
it
ever was. 'Cause, I
meta.
mean, even in Crisis Core, it was a thing, but it wasn't a massive thing. Do you know what I mean? You were still out there doing your thing and fighting everybody. But it's definitely been a focal point of quite a few story threads so far in Remake.
Yeah.
It's like Remake is actually just... It's actually a game, and Chadley is just like a player's representation or a developer's representation or something like that. Like
Maybe.
going all the way meta.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
People would have breakdowns.
Yeah.
There'd be riots. They couldn't do that. They couldn't.
No,
There'd
no.
be riots.
It was all a dream. It's like a Squall is dead
no.
theory all over again.
Yes. Come on.
I love
I
it,
still
but
love that
it's
theory,
still
yeah.
it's just nah.
I wish they'd just leaned into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we meant.
There
carry
might
on.
be a Final Fantasy VIII remake in the future at some point, so maybe they just change that as well.
I love that. That'd be so good.
I don't know. Now we're just rambling.
Yeah. Anyway,
we're gone now.
sorry,
We're
I went
gone.
off the rails. I went off the rails.
It's
here,
fine.
but-
We as well. I think we
My
have
fault.
beaten the dead horse. Let's just go to Sonon. Sonon's End, because
Also, no.
that one is, we touched on it, but
Mhm.
it's also fodder for the theory community, definitely for the
Yeah.
theorists.
There's a lot of possibilities for what's gone on there at the end.
Mhm.
I mean, I thought it was quite interesting the way that they kind of. It was quite obvious that this was going to happen with Sonon. Like,
Yeah, for
even
sure.
I didn't even play it. I was just watching it, and it was like,
Yeah.
oh, this guy is not going to last.
Yeah,
I feel quite bad for him.
yeah. I thought about it pretty strongly before the game came out, and then
Yeah.
I played it. And the first time Yuffie died, he sacrificed himself for Yuffie, and I thought, okay, yeah, he's gonna die.
Oh,
He's
there
gonna
we go.
sacrifice
Yeah,
him for
it-
me. Yeah,
It's
sure.
actually a part of the mechanics
Yeah.
of the game. It's like, yeah, this is going to happen.
Yeah.
He's done.
yeah,
But the way they did it,
yeah. It's brutal.
it was quite savage. And it's what I'd expect from Nero.
Yeah.
Like, I would have expected him to be that kind of savage. But I think one of the big questions is because it looked like he died. But at the
Yes.
same time, it looked like he got absorbed as well.
Yeah,
That's true.
And-
That's why I said it's weird. It's
Yeah.
laden with mysteries.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, yeah, because there's a lot of possibilities there. Is Sonon still alive and just kind of being held in stasis by Nero? Or see, that's the Matrix talk. Being held in stasis by Nero.
Freudian slip.
Or is he completely absorbed him and just kind of now Sonon exists as a part of Nero, and Nero's got access to like everything about him? It kind of lends itself to Nero reappearing at some
Yeah,
point
that's true.
to screw around with Yuffie
Mhm.
because
Mm.
he's got all the ammunition he'd need at the minute.
Mm.
Well, that all depends on what's gone on with Sonon. He might have just died and that's it. But it definitely looked like he was absorbed in some way. That was my take, at least.
Yeah. But before I go on a rant, what do you think, Kai?
No, I totally agree with you. It was really sad. It really got me, that part, and especially too where it just showed his sister. You know.
Yeah.
Oh
and,
yeah, that killed me almost.
Like
Yeah.
at long last they could be together, and she kind of beckons him on, like, come on, you know what I mean, just be with me, whatever, and kind of let go. And that was really emotional. It got me. But like I said, it feels like it's kind of left up to our interpretation whether he died or not. Hopefully we see him again in the future. That would be cool if maybe he was absorbed by Nero and he has access to his memories or something. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
We can
Maybe
use
he'll
him as a
reappear.
puppet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that might be it too. Yeah, exactly. Use him as a puppet.
It'd give him a lot of power as well, especially with Wu Tai being against the Shinra.
Mhm.
Mm.
He could use that for any
yeah.
degree of subterfuge and things
That's
like
true.
that. So, all he has to do is get there before Yuffie.
It just
Yeah.
seems like Nero doesn't have kind of like this he's kind of just gone off the deep end. Like he doesn't really have emotion, he doesn't have, critical thinking, he doesn't have any of that. He's just kind of like everything
Just
like
chaos.
everything's irrelevant.
Yes,
I'm just
for
gonna
sure,
kill
yeah.
everything. So I don't even know if he would even be able to.
Yeah, he wouldn't play along potentially.
He
Yeah.
wouldn't really, but if Scarlet tells him to do something, he
Oh, that's
probably
true.
would.
That's true.
Mm. Oh, Scarlet.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
That's true.
They have a
get
weird,
to that.
synergy going on there. Yeah.
Yep, that's it for me.
Yeah. Okay. What I also find very interesting is Mo Gallagher's take on this his death scene, because Nero's darkness, his terror corrupt,
Mhm.
Yeah.
invokes your darkest despair and just like robs you of your identity and only leaves you with the darkness. And that's why he cannot bite the Joe Bean anymore. He lost
Oh.
his being as a ninja, as a shinobi.
Mm.
Like this identity he lost. And he sees like his sister. That's the only thing he clings to. But then after he cries and stuff, he comes back to reality, and she's not there anymore. Like he lost his sister again. Like all those things he holds dear that makes him.
It's stripped
Like
away from him.
the identity, everything is just stripped away. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And that could be a mechanic of like what Nero was trying to do as well.
Yeah.
Maybe he has to do that in order to absorb the person. So they have to be at that complete low point.
Yeah.
And then he's able to fully absorb them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Or to just then use either their essence or just their bodies as puppets for whatever. I don't know. Or just absorb, like all those scientists and all the deep crouch soldiers he absorbed. I think they're just now enriching Terror Corrupt or something. Floating there and having nightmares for eternity.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
There's a lot of potential with him.
Yeah.
There is a lot of potential with that character. And I do hope we see him again, but it does make sense that we probably won't see him again until we go back to Midgar. So.
Most likely, yeah. Most likely.
Yeah.
Unless there's just some intermission scenes, like at the beginning of chapter 9 when we see Reef and the others talking, like just a scene outside of the normal storyline, so to speak. Like
I think we're definitely going to get a lot of stuff like that as well going forwards in part 2. You know, those like let's go and see what's happening over here.
Yeah,
kind
like
of moments. Because
meanwhile over there.
Threads. Yeah.
Yeah.
Elsewhere,
yeah.
But no, there's so many threads going on at the minute. We're going to have to.
Yeah,
to a certain
definitely. Also, I don't know if you remember or have seen. I think it was in the third video about the trailers for Intermission, where I theorized something about parallels to the Dirge Cerberus online component, because that one also had some very, very interesting story sections. And there, the main character you play, that's just some random character. I think you can even customize them and choose female or male, doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But that main character has implanted memories of a sister that dies, I think, at the hand of a restrictor, and that's to infuse hatred in that character for the restrictors. That in the end, when the time is ripe, that the character will then attack a restrictor, distract him enough for the others, or especially Vyzz, to dispatch of him. Like they want to get rid of the control of the restrictors, because all of the deep ground soldiers and the Sviets have chips in their head where they can be stopped. Like just they can't move anymore. You can see this with Azul, who gets stopped that way, and Vyzz as well. But Vyzz can still kind of move a little bit. But they can also like just let them die, let the chips explode, and then they die or something. So they have control over them. Yeah,
that's really dark.
It's a really dark story there, yeah.
Oh my god!
And that's why it remembered me of that. Sonon has also a memory of a sister that died at the hands of a machine by Scarlet. So it could have been, as I've theorized then, an implant memory, like for some long game by those Sviets or something like that.
You see what happens to Sonon.
Yeah.
And it all makes sense.
Yeah, he like takes him back again. Oh, I forgot also that the chips they have, there's a supercomputer, an AI called Patricia in there, which controls is kind of the network in there, controls the chips. And when a Sviet is being introduced, they will receive this chip. But Shulk has the ability of the SND, the Synaptic Net Dive, and can enter this network and mess with this chip, so that this Sviet they chose for the mission then has a faulty chip and is not subjected to the restrictors' control. So that's kind of the plot of this online component, and I see a lot of parallels there. Maybe it's just a throwback, weird parallel. Just I don't know.
It does tie in, though.
Yeah.
It definitely ties in.
It could tie in. I think that the way he took Sonon away, Sonon will reappear in some form. Pretty sure. because the others, they have just been taken by tentacles.
Yeah, they've just been,
Yeah, and
they're like fodder, aren't they?
yeah, that's just fodder. But here with Zonon, he took his head and just took it back into the darkness with him. This is something different. And also, even though he got sliced and stabbed multiple times with Nero's blades, most of them just went up into purple smoke again. This didn't feel real. Besides the very first one, the first one was real because that one spurted blood into Yuffie's face, but the others didn't.
Yeah.
For some reason. So he just got taken by the darkness fully.
It definitely does hint that there is something further for Sonon.
Yeah.
Unless Nero's just absolutely twisted and just enjoyed the moment far too much.
Or he just needed another puppet to play with. He got bored with the old
He
one.
wanted a friend. He wanted a friend.
Exactly.
No, poor Sonon.
Like a doll to play with. That's dark, really.
Yeah, he definitely got the short end of the stick
Yeah.
when it came to people's endings. That is a really bad one.
Yes.
That is,
And
it's not a
he's
good one.
he's such a good guy. Like
Yeah.
in his heart, he's a good guy. Even though he knows how to just do the hard choices and stuff. Like when he and Yuffie talk about the other Avalanche members when they're in the factory in Chapter 1. Like those are too nice, the Midgar HQ. And Zonon would rather cooperate with Barrett and the others because they seem to just be willing to do what it takes.
Get stuff done.
Yeah, get stuff done. So he has also a good heart, but can kind of go into the gray zone as well.
Yeah, he's quite happy existing in those grey areas.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So, and speaking of Zonon, he also has a good friend called TGS. Apparently, they're friends because their interaction.
Yeah, they were drinking buddies,
Yeah.
weren't they?
Apparently,
Yeah.
and their bro, not fist bump. How do you call it when they clap hands? It's not really a handshake. It's more like a
high five.
Not really a high five.
Side five.
It's like a handshake, but with the arm arm wrestling style thing, the friendly one, the PAL, the PAL version. I don't know.
There is a lot of hints as well in the narrative that GJ he's almost certainly got some connection to Wu-Tai even without that. So
for sure, he is a Wu-Tai.
I'd assume that they know each other. From the past,
definitely.
like maybe trained together in the early days or something like that. Because they've got that camaraderie thing going. It definitely comes across as that.
Even just before they enter the factory, the line of Zonon tells Yuffie that he knows more about TGS because she also said, "Oh, is he a ninja like us? You can ask him when we're done here."
Yeah,
like something like that. So he knows, but
Yeah.
Yuffie has no idea. And according to lore and also his description, the official one is he's Wu-Tai and kind of the middleman between Wu-Tai and Avalanche HQ in Midgar.
Yeah,
but there's more to it. I wrote down here ties to Rufus. Discuss.
Oh, Rufus. Rufus gives me so many headaches because there's so much different stuff, like all across the compilation.
Yes.
That kind of ties in loosely into certain narratives.
Yes.
I mean, I think Before Crisis is probably the one that just jumps in headfirst. It's like, oh yeah, he's there. Rufus is doing this. Don't worry about that. But with everything else, it's kind of really loose links, and it's difficult to tell what is true and what isn't to a certain degree. But yeah, I did get the vibe, because he says it directly to the guards, don't he? Like, yeah, Rufus.
Yeah. He says three names. Rufus is the middle one.
He's joking, but he's not joking. Yeah. It's 100% not a joke, especially when you know about like Rufus's ties to Avalanche and everything like that.
Exactly, yeah.
Definitely. There's definitely more to that. And of all of the members of Avalanche that we've seen so far, GJ would be the one that I would expect us to see again. Like, I'm almost certain we'll be seeing GJ again.
Oh, for
That'd
sure.
be my guess. either at Fort Condor or back at Wutai or something. There's definitely going to be something in there because, yeah, there's too many questions still about him. Like with the others, there's not as many questions, but with GJ, there's a lot more that we don't really know, or that we've just kind of got allusions to.
He's really a dodgy one, physically and personality-wise.
He's got them shifty eyes.
Yeah. Such an elusive one.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be something. No idea what. I mean, he kind of gives you off that vibe of being like a double agent almost. Like he's working for one side, but then he's got ulterior motives as well. And then the link to Rufus, it's very dodgy, very dodgy.
Also, maybe it's just to squeeze more gameplay out of this DLC, but why did you lure the guards away and this whole chase, and why even going through the factory? Because the only thing we actually achieved was TGS giving us the cards, the access cards, access keys.
Yeah.
We didn't really achieve anything else there. Unless just getting drawing attention of the guards. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, did he? I'm not sure. I don't remember entirely. Did he know that Yuffie and Sonon were there during the chase?
Oh yeah. He did. Yeah. Because when we reached a plaza below the pillar, he lured them away, and then ran away towards the train station. We tailed him, and when we then reached those again, he was with his back towards the fence and pretended to be caught. Like, okay, yeah, just get me into handcuffs.
Yeah.
And then he went again. It seems like he always waited until we were in sight so that we could follow him, kinda.
Yeah, it's very much him. It doesn't make sense though, because you could just take out those guards and go casually. Do you know what I mean? Unless
he didn't have those key cards yet and needed to receive those in the heart of the factory, some sort. Maybe that one of the guards was a plant by Rufus or something who delivered the cards without anybody noticing. That's why we needed to do that.
And that'd make sense with him mentioning Rufus's name as well.
Yeah, because I think it was just one of them interrogating the other one. Maybe hit him, but that's you can do that even if you're in. You even need to do that to show the other one. Oh, hey, I'm with you. I'm against this guy still, even if he's not. But it could have been all a play. Like one of them is in on it, the other one wasn't. The one who interrogated him wasn't.
It was all just set up for that Yuffie intro scene.
That's
what it was. That's what it was.
Yeah. Or it's just as simple as he needed to test their metal, like if they were even up to the task for.
Are you going to be able to do this?
Yeah, getting the huge materia or the ultimate materia for sure. Yeah.
The ultimate materia. Bless him. Like it was weird. Like as soon as we heard about that ultimate materia, being the thing that they were going for, like straight away it made me think of that scene in Remake, where Scarlet's just sat in front of the materia and it all goes wrong and blows up. Yeah. It's like that materia is not going to be ready. This is going to be a pointless mission. Yeah, I would. It was just the first thing I thought, and it's such a shame that Sonon had to die for such a nothing mission.
Right? Oh my god.
It also got me thinking that didn't they know that the materia wasn't ready? It was just a rumor, or like good intel or not so good intel, and they were too early?
I think it was bad intel and they just went early, because they are definitely working on it, so it was sort of good intel. It was kind of good.
Yeah.
It was just, I think they might have jumped the gun a bit.
Yeah, maybe there were just too many people involved to make the timing right. Like some leaked the info but didn't really know the status, or maybe the the huge Materia project was a little bit delayed because of so many failures, and also the Avalanche mission with the Platefall. I think she even mentioned it that they now had a more pressing mission with crushing Avalanche with the plate.
So maybe on their side things were a bit slower.
Yeah.
And on the Avalanche side of things, they could have got the intel, but because Avalanche is really fragmented from what we can see. There's so many different sections of it. So that information might have just, kind of maybe got corrupted in transmission, that sort of thing.
Lost in translation, telephone game.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
Something like that for sure, yeah.
There's definitely a lot of questions there, though, 100%.
I also think we'll see the latest in Wutai. The latest. I kind of hope for him to be more Wutai related, and the other Avalanche members from HQ more Fort Condor related. I kind of see it that way.
Yeah, he kind of goes back to his base of operations, and they kind of go back to theirs, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it makes sense because Wutai sounds like it's a mess at the minute, and with what's going on in Midgar and with Rufus taking over now, it's going to change everything to a certain extent. Well, no, but it's going to change everything. So, it makes sense for him to go back to Wutai to kind of reevaluate what his mission is, that sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Kai, any other thoughts of GGA before we continue?
I don't think so. I think you guys talked about everything. Actually,
yeah,
we
squeezed all the juice out of it.
Yeah, I just think that there's something like different about him, and hopefully see him in the future, and he has some impact on the story other than just being there for them to chase.
I hope so too.
Yeah, it seemed like he was kind of he wanted them to get in that boss battle. Maybe like you had said, where he was like, he wanted to see them fight and be like, hey, are they worthy of, doing this, basically?
Yeah, let's see if they can get through this kind of thing.
Yeah, to see if they're ready for what's next or whatever, you know what I mean? What maybe he has in store or some, ultimate plan or whatever. I hope there's something like that, and we see him again and there's some explanation. But yeah, we won't know until, part 2 comes out. So
yeah, for sure.
Possibly even later if he ends up being in Wutai, because I doubt we'll get Wutai in part 2.
Yeah, exactly. I have a feeling they'll draw it out a little bit.
One of my kind of ideas is that we might open part 3 with the Wutai section.
That's true.
That could be an interesting one, because, it all depends where we get to. I'm thinking we get to Nibelheim with part 2.
Oh, for sure. It has to end there if it ends earlier,
yeah. And if you think about it, in the original game, all you do from that point is go to Rocket Town, and then Wutai opens up. Yeah, so I think that might be what we get. I hope, at least.
Yeah, I think so too. I hope it's not like, here, let's give all the story and data logs like in 13, and it's like you don't actually go and do those things. Like, they're talked about, and you like pick up documents and you read about it and talk to people and they tell you about it, but you don't actually just go there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, gotta go there. Wutai should be beautiful as well. Like, as an area.
Exactly.
I've got high expectations of what Wutai will look like.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. So moving on here, we're talking about the Happy Turtle, Fort Condor, and their future. We did talk about Fort Condor, the minigame.
Yeah.
And we did talk about, Happy Turtle in INTERmission, Turtle's Paradise.
Yeah, but what's also on my mind a little bit, like the Happy Turtle in the future, will it return? Will the old Snapper return? What do you think?
I think so. Yeah. I hope so.
It could potentially come back as the Turtle Paradise that we remember, from the original. So, like, the Happy Turtle is kind of like the Midgar-centric version of it. And then we get the Turtle Paradise flyers going forwards. I'd be up for that.
I hope so, really. I really hope so, yeah.
Yeah, because it's a fun little side thing to find them all in the original game. It's good fun. It's good fun. And yeah, the rewards aren't the worst.
Yeah.
I think you get you get a Mega Elixir and a few other things as well. It's kind of worth it.
And didn't you also get an AP Plus at the end?
I think so, yeah.
Although I never
you
use
gotta
AP
have it.
Plus anyway, so
Same.
It's nice to have everything.
that's
man.
true. That's true. That's certainly true. Yeah. Also, I really hope they had the old snapper got away or got out of Sector 7.
Yes.
Because he did mention that he will stay here for a while. He won't leave for. I don't quite remember his lines, but it seemed like he didn't want to leave. But he
didn't also know
there.
that the plate was gonna fall, so
Yeah.
When the sky falls,
Yeah.
I think he probably had no other choice.
Yeah.
I think I might leave.
Yeah.
Well, that could be it. He's got a long journey back home now.
Yeah.
So that could be the vehicle for the Turtle Paradise flyers. We're kind of in his wake a little bit, and he's dropping
right. He
these
loses all the
everywhere.
flyers. Yeah.
It could be.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Or he just puts them up everywhere and hopes that someone picks up all the flyers. And when we are finally in Wutai, he's the bartender there, or even the owner. I don't know. Someone.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
And then, did you find all the flyers?
Yes. I hope Square Enix are listening still.
Yeah. Hopefully. Please make this a thing.
Yes.
Needs to return. I have a feeling in general that everything introduced in Intermission is just that, an introduction to something bigger that's to come.
Mm-hmm.
Not just a throwaway thing for just one DLC and then it's gone for good.
They did put an emphasis on like the drinking part as well, because I know there was some things or situations where I think people were talking about alcohol or drinking, going to the bar, or whatever, and Yuffie as well talking about that. Remember when she came in, she met the Avalanche HQ and she was like talking about that?
Yeah.
There was a part where she was talking about.
Yeah, when Sonon returns, that if he was around drinking and then sniffs on him.
Yeah, and she said something about, I don't know, about man, like, I forget anyway. I gotta go back and
that
rewatch
was
it.
with the girl, how's she called again?
Yeah.
Nelly.
Yeah.
No, Neo, that's Freudian slip. For me, she's still Nelly, and the others are Finn and Al. But yeah, anyway.
It could be some foreshadowing, just that they're going to go there in Wutai. And,
Yeah,
you know,
that's true as well.
And there's probably some story element to it. You know, I don't know. Somebody is getting drunk at the bar or something, and they have to go talk to them. I don't know. I'm trying to think, but anyway, yeah.
Yeah, we already had that in Walmart with the tailor.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Exactly. I think we're gonna see more of that. Absolutely. Part 2 or 3 whenever we get to Wutai, but
yeah. Exactly.
It's got to be. I'm just looking forward to how much they expand it with Wutai. Like, that's the big thing for me, because it was there's so much potential in that area, and so much stuff goes down in Wutai in the original game if you go there as well, like with Don Corneo's extended story.
Yeah, that's true.
You get a bit more insight into the Turks. You get the relationship between Yuffie and Godo, and
exactly.
More of that, please.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if we still have to do the pagoda.
I hope so.
I hope so.
Yeah, that'd be really good fighting your way up the pagoda.
Yeah, and I hope those fighters turn into like this weird carrot thing and the penguin and
Yes. Yes. Oh.
Yeah.
That'd be phenomenal.
Those weird enemy asset usage fights.
I'm going to transform now.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
All right, so we are going to talk a little bit about the reunion clones and Yuffie. So what do you think, Vyzz, about seeing some of the reunion clones, you know, at the beginning of episode intermission and then throughout?
Yeah, first of all, I really loved it. I loved seeing more of them, like having them established even more. Not just Marco and number 2.
Yeah.
But there are actually more now, not just in Nibelheim, but here, because this also ties into the short story Picturing the Past, which was released with the World's Preview book, where there's mostly number 24 in the story. But when the main character and another one follow her into the train graveyard, there's a whole gathering of the Black Cloak who all look up to where Genova resides. So that's basically what they also do. in the beginning, especially. No, I think no, the middle one doesn't. The first one looks up there, and the third one also looks up there and says reunion.
Mm-hmm.
The middle one just I don't know, sways around. He doesn't do much.
Is the middle? Which one was the middle one? Now,
I think
if
20.
I remember right, that's the one that's from Nibelheim, isn't it? Because one of those early ones is one of the ones. If you
it's
keep with
11.
the number conventions, is it 11?
Yeah.
Right. Because it's definitely one of them that you see
Mhm.
in Tifa's kitchen. I think it is in Nibelheim.
Yes, Tifa's house in
Yeah.
Nibelheim is the number 11. That's the first one we see. The second
First
one is
one, right.
20, and 16 is the third, just before Yuffie enters the Scrapyard Boulevard. Yeah, definitely. Because in the original, 12 was the highest number.
Yeah.
We didn't see many.
It's going to be interesting keeping an eye on where we see them.
Yes. Yeah.
Because we're definitely going to see a lot of these reunion clones like repeating throughout the world.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
With Genova moving as well now.
Yes, exactly. I have a feeling we see them throughout, not just in Nibelheim, and from then on. Oh, also in the Temple of the Ancients we see one.
Yeah.
But also all over the world, like almost not maybe on all locations, because then it would get old.
I'd expect to see one in the background everywhere, though.
Yeah.
You know, like you're in Junon and you're walking through.
Yeah,
and
in
you just
Junon,
see
for
a
example.
black
Yeah,
cloak.
exactly.
Yeah, you just see a black cloak walking down the street. That's it. They don't make a deal about it. You just see it.
Yeah, maybe
That'd be nice.
around the mines, the Mythil mines or something.
Yes.
One near Corel. I don't know. Just something like that.
Just a gentle spattering of reunion clones.
Yeah, exactly. And hopefully also numbers we know.
Yeah.
So, some of them, some new ones, and I hope we see number 24 somewhere. I think it's called Lilisa or Liliza. I don't quite know how to pronounce it.
So this is the one from Picture in the Past.
Yes,
isn't
exactly.
it? Yeah.
I think it's Lilisa. I don't know.
Do we
I'm no
we see
native
the
English
others
speaker. I
as-
have no idea.
We see the others as well, don't we? We see the one that everyone was calling Geddy back. don't we?
Yeah, but
So
they
it'd be
they
interesting
don't.
to see if a few of them get about.
Yeah, but they don't reveal his number, unfortunately.
Yeah, we don't get numbers, sadly.
Yeah. That bummed me out a little bit that we didn't get a number. Oh well, we'll get enough numbers.
It'd be very nice to know what happened to that point of view, that perspective character from Picture in the Past. 'cause
Yeah.
we do get his name as well in the Aerith story in Trace of Two Pasts. Cannot remember what it is, but it's in. I did a video about it. I'll have to go and check it.
I vaguely remember something, but I don't quite know. I only remember like the last chapter of Picturing the Past that he sees Aerith waiting around in Sector 8, and he's a Shinra guard, I think, a Shinra infantryman or something.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happened with him because he's quite heavily involved in a lot of things that have gone on.
Yeah.
And he's got a lot of information that could be quite useful for the party as well.
Yeah, he also knows Aerith from back there when she was a mere 5-year-old and drawing all those pictures in trance.
Yeah.
So I hope they bring him back at some point.
I can't remember his name. It's going to annoy me that I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I don't either right now, and can't be bothered to search for it.
Yeah, this is it. Like, do I search? No.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. Somebody will probably remind us somewhere on the Discord, which you can join, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, join the Discord. Join.
Or give us a nice review on whichever platform you are.
Mm-hmm.
And then tell us how wrong we are.
I hear that often.
Yeah.
Don't tell me. Give me a break.
It's part of the course.
But yeah, just talking about the clones again, I think that it's good that they're showing the clones early, you know what I mean, for Yuffie, so she's exposed to them, and there's continuity there, so that it's not just kind of like this thing where she just doesn't know, well, I mean, she still doesn't know like what's actually happening, but just the fact that she's been exposed to them. So I think it's kind of setting it up for later when she actually joins the group, and then maybe they notice them again. She might say, "Oh, actually, I saw them here when I was, in Midgar, and this is, so I don't know, just some kind of a, payoff to this, but there is a reason why."
Yeah, for sure. Not just.
I'm sorry, I just really quickly, I had to look. The character's name is Ronnie.
Ronnie. Oh.
Yes. Sorry.
Oh, it's that one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so the perspective character's name's Ronnie. It'd be nice to see him pop back up. Sorry, I just had to jump in.
Yeah, it's fine.
No,
it's
that's
good.
okay.
It's good. Thank you.
It was giving me a headache. You know when you know something but you can't remember it, and your brain just starts crying. Yeah, it was one of them.
It's just on the tip of your tongue, but it doesn't will get out.
Yeah.
Ronnie.
Ronnie. But not that Ronnie with all the muscles.
No. Well,
not that
who
one.
knows? Maybe you hit the gym. You had a
maybe,
traumatic childhood.
Yeah, maybe.
Love it.
Okay, juicy stuff. Ending credit scenes.
Here we go.
Here we go. I think I'll let Kai talk about this because he didn't have the opportunity to talk about this on, I think, no, you weren't on Baby Seal's streams after Integrate, right?
No, I was
INTERmission.
not. So obviously you guys already talked about this a little bit.
Yeah,
and,
we did.
Much. Very much.
Yeah. By a little bit, I mean a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was awesome. I actually wasn't expecting this much from a like end credits scene. I didn't think that. I thought we might get something, but I didn't expect this much. And yeah, I'm just here for it. And really what it did was just excite me more about part 2.
Yeah.
And I'm just so ready for it, and I don't know, it just made me happy. Number one, I thought it was awesome just to kind of get a glimpse of them interacting together in the story, I guess, and outside of battle, you know what I mean? Where they could just kind of take a break and just be people, because they are people, they have lives, they have, experiences. And sometimes, I guess, when you're playing through the game, I mean, you're battling most of the time. And yes, you're getting story elements, but it was just a nice break. They're finally out of Midgar, and to get a glimpse of what it looks like, when they leave.
It's a small interactions,
well.
Yeah. Like, Tifa's helping Aerith, and like, because she doesn't know which hitchhiking is, and that makes sense because she's been sheltered and she's, been captured in a laboratory.
Yeah, Barrett still hasn't come to terms with the fact that he's not the leader anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that so much.
Yeah.
Like, it's beautiful. Because he's like that in the original. He wants to be the leader, but he knows he isn't.
Yes.
And it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I was just really excited. I thought it was awesome. And then obviously they showed Zach, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know what theory I'm kind of prescribing to at this point. I don't know, like I said before, I think I've said this before, I don't know if he's alive. I don't know if this is, I don't know. I just don't know if this is another timeline. I don't think it is. I'm not sure.
This is the thing. There's a few theories you have to decide on before you reach that point as well. I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You have to choose, like, right, am I going one timeline or two timeline? Right, is Zach alive or is Zach dead? Oh, it's bad. Sorry.
No, it's true. And I think that my understanding is, well, what I've come to kind of, conclude is that Sephiroth needs Zach alive in some capacity for some reason. And I don't know why or what that is. It could be I don't know, like Cloud, I think, really regrets not being able to save Aerith. And we see this a lot in Advent Children, right? Where he it's just, there's a scene with them together, kind of, and she's just like, why? You know what I mean? Like, stop, basically.
Yeah,
Just
he's,
get
he's
over
kind of
it.
begging for forgiveness, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't know, what. I think that it has to do with the Aerith death scene, and I don't think that it's going to happen the way that we know it happens in the original. Whether it's,
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I can't even describe because I have literally no idea. But it's not going to happen the same way, and I don't know if she's going to live. I think she might end up living, and that changes things, but she'll end up dying later. And I don't know if, it's Sephiroth that kills her, but I think that Sephiroth has learned over time. Maybe he's been trying to, change events that happen. And there's a quote also in Advent Children that Rufus says that history just inevitably repeats itself. So bring your Sephiroths, bring your Genovas. It doesn't matter. We'll always defeat you. It doesn't matter how many times it repeats. So it's kind of, for me, it's like, this has happened before. It's the timeline's replaying multiple times, and Sephiroth is going back, and every time he's losing, whether it's, he's figuring things out the more that he goes back, and the memories keep replaying. So he knows that he needs Zack alive at some point in some timeline to do something to make Cloud weaker, or make him not who he is, or some event doesn't happen so that he can ultimately succeed. But obviously, I don't think that's actually what's going to happen. But yeah, that's kind of what I take away from it. I don't think that he's alive in that sense that it's a diverged, like this timeline's to split off and he's alive, and then Cloud is a different person in that timeline, and I don't think that that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I'm not sure if I'm 100% set on something, and I don't want to like reveal everything right here because I still have to make the video about it. But
okay.
In short, he is not alive, but he exists somewhere else, not just as a memory. If that makes sense. Like,
he's more. He's not just
a memory. He's more than a memory.
Of the essence. He kind of falls into the same kind of category as Sephiroth in
Advent Children.
On the Way to a Smile. Because he kind of he feels the live stream breaking him down, but he maintains his consciousness, doesn't he? I
through sheer will in the original, and then after Cloud defeats him, he latches on to the memories from Cloud of himself to like anchor himself to Cloud so that he doesn't disappear.
Yes. Exactly.
That's how he can come back eventually in Advent Children. Yeah, that's also why all those things happen in the remake.
Yeah, because there's a really interesting part of it. I was literally rereading On the Way to a Smile the other day just because I've not read it for a while. And when he's going through that scene, Sephiroth, he says that even if Cloud dies, that memory that still exists in the live stream will be enough for a part of me to survive.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm kind of, I've been thinking on that one quite a bit recently.
Yeah.
But, yeah, sorry. I keep chirping in.
That's fine.
Yeah, I agree. It seems like he's kind of stuck in, it's not like purgatory per se, but it's more like you said, it's not, it's like an in-between, you know what I mean, where he's not alive.
The live stream's waiting room.
Yeah,
exactly. But maybe it's more becoming more distorted since fate has been destroyed, you know what I mean. Maybe everything's kind of just
a mess.
Yeah, I think it has more to do with the planet is about to meet its end. That's what Sephiroth also tells Cloud, like those 7 seconds, and the planet is dying slowly, silently, painfully, and stuff. So, and even Red 13 says, especially in Japanese, that the planet is about to lose its energy. Like we are close to the end. Which is not really what happens in the original game. So it's definitely a sequel, even in that sense. Like it's basically the planet is about to die. And Sephiroth tries to do something to averted to change destiny. That's why he travels the memories to change stuff, and that's I go a lot into this in the latest video I uploaded last Friday. This would have been, hang on, let me see, the 5th, 6th, hang on. No, 8th, sorry. October 8th was the upload date of the latest video, part 7 of the sub-series of Game Analysis 26, and there I basically go through the whole chapter 18. So there's a lot going on there. And regarding Zack, if you remember, he's only quote-unquote alive because the whispers are flowing around the battlefield. So they have something to do with it.
Yes.
Question is, because of the planet's will or because of Sephiroth's will?
Well, yeah, this is it.
That's the question.
Has Sephiroth taken control at that point?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he has full control yet, but still, it's hard. It's hard to say who is in control of the whispers, who directs the whispers there, because it has implications. If Sephiroth wants Zack to be a thing, that's a whole other thing than the planet that wants to install a failsafe for after Fate is gone.
Yeah, because if it's the planet that's done it, it's quite obvious what the goal is. But if Sephiroth's the one who's done it, it's like, what?
Yeah, and it's weird.
What are you playing at?
Because I'm still of the opinion that Cloud now and Zack now are in different realms. The ones are in basically the rewritten memories, which gets rewritten into the new reality, and Zack is still in the afterlife. Possibly in the corrupted part of it, like where all the corrupted souls just sling around.
Yeah.
That's why everyone in the church is crying and in pain.
Exactly.
And,
they're confused and they're stuck or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And the scene where it looks like Zack is, where he survives as well, I've seen like the comparison to, I guess, Crisis Core, and you can tell that there are actual like generals, soldiers that are not alive, or they're not there. So it looks like Sephiroth could have like went back and destroyed them, so ultimately they would fail so that Zack would live. That's what I read online.
You've also got the possibility though that it was an accident. So we could be seeing those whispers there literally in a precautionary sense. So those whispers are just there looking over the fight, making sure that everything pans out as normal.
That's true.
And the explosion of the singularity could be what causes the change. And it could just be a complete accident. I mean, it's unlikely.
Can I throw in a little debunkerino?
Oh,
because the Whisper Dome explodes after he survives.
Yes, it does. He's already survived. And
Yeah, so those 4 whispers are most likely the ones initiating a change.
But this is the thing, though. He survives originally and then gets gunned down by a few soldiers afterwards, if you remember. In the original Final Fantasy VII. So could it be that that Whisper explosion stopped them from finishing the job?
In a way, but what about the stamp bag which changed before the explosion?
True. That is true. This is what I mean. It's so... it is a mess.
It is pretty much a mess. I'm still not 100% sold on one single thing. Yeah, it's weird. Also, what Zack's role now is. What do you think? What is his role now? His new destiny.
It all kind of depends. What it comes down to, why is he alive? How is he alive? If it's the planet, he's going to be, like you say, he's going to be a failsafe.
Yeah.
He's going to be to repair damage to the live stream, because I also feel like he is in the live stream at this point. I cannot think of a way where he has survived in the real world that works without 2 timelines.
Also, where both clouds cross paths, it wouldn't make sense if they're in the same realm.
Yeah, exactly. So at the very least, it has to be 2 timelines. I think it's more likely Zack's in the live stream, though.
Well, not really 2 timelines, more like 2 parallel realities, parallel memories.
Yeah, just kind of running alongside each other, but separate still.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. If it's Sephiroth, that's the reason that he's alive. The only thing that I can think of is the fact that in Crisis Core, when he gets tested on, the results of the testing shows Hojo saying that there's been no effect on Zack.
Yeah.
Like the Genova cells have had no effect.
Yeah, because he's. I think it's because his mental state is so strong that it doesn't affect him. But Cloud is so much full of self-doubt and doesn't feel up to the task and didn't make it into soldier and stuff. And it just breaks him. It consumes him.
So could that be something Sephiroth wants? Because there is that ongoing conversation of is Sephiroth basically a slave to Genova? Like it's kind of been a debate over the years.
It has been, yeah.
Zack's resistance to that could be something that Sephiroth kind of thinks, oh, hello, and kind of wants a piece of that. So to a certain extent, I don't know. It's a bit of a crazy one. But
it's a crazy one, and I don't really see connections to other things. But if the planet is responsible, then I see the connection between.
Yeah.
Because the planet needs a failsafe because it feels Sephiroth is too strong.
It's in trouble now.
Yeah, it's too strong. There is something going on. Hey, we won't be able to protect the timeline anymore, so we need to install something that install a new guardian of fate, so to speak. As like in one of your videos where you say Zack is a whisper, basically, like he takes on the job of the whispers.
He is basically then now. Yeah, he's going to try to repair fate, or at the very least protect the live stream. I think that's going to be what it boils down to more than anything, because I think we've gone beyond the point of maintaining things or repairing things.
Yeah,
I think too much damage has been done now.
It's more like bringing back happiness to wherever Zack is now, because Zack is such a happy-go-lucky guy and brings good spirit to others. Can make
it definitely
people laugh.
Makes me think about Minerva and Genesis as well. It puts me in mind of Minerva and Genesis a lot, because like Genesis, like I don't think Minerva's real. It's the live stream appearing to Genesis in a way that kind of works for his mind. You know what I mean? Because of his obsession with like the Loveless story and everything like that.
Well, apparently, according to, I think it was a keyword section in the Cerberus Ultimania or something like that, that says that Minerva is like the representation or the embodiment of the live stream and follows the planet's will or something like that. I don't quite remember the exact words, but it's something like that.
So could we potentially see that worked into this Zack story then? If he's going to be filling that role, protecting the live stream?
Maybe.
There's so many possibilities.
That's a good point. I think at least towards the end of this whole remake project, Minerva and Genesis will appear in some shape or form. In something.
At the very least, Minerva, I would say. Yeah.
But
because there might be issues with Genesis, we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. But
I think they could make it work though.
Yeah. But the question is that you posed, could you maybe appear earlier? Like if like becoming Zack's mentor or something silly crazy like that. I don't know. It's really hard to say. But the thing is, I lean more towards the notion of Zack being a failsafe of the planet, of the Whispers, this whole thing, and is now trying to like fix the live stream part or the corrupted live stream part or whatever, while Cloud and the others will go through the story that's changed a little bit now, and then kind of approach Sephiroth from both sides.
Yeah, it's going to be a two-pronged war.
Yeah. And this also brings into question, will Zack and Aerith meet after she dies?
That's real tough. Because I, like I was saying earlier, I do agree. I think it is still going to happen. I think it's going to be different.
For sure.
But I think it's still going to happen. Like, it kind of comes into that inescapable fate type of thing that's going on.
I'm not even sure if it will happen differently. If something happens exactly the same, like one for one, I think this event could be this one anchor that remains the same every time, or no matter what happens. This is this one point that everything revolves around, basically, if I'm making sense. But everything else can just be a little bit different. Like maybe the main chain of events is kind of similar. Locations are similar. Main motivations are similar, but the events themselves are all a little bit different. But this one could be just a one-for-one, shot-for-shot
just
remake.
happens.
Could be.
Yeah.
I could see it.
I don't know. I've got a feeling that because I've got this weird theory in my head as well. Like it seems like we've got the two separate Sephiroths going on because we've got this Sephiroth that has this future knowledge, but there would also be a Sephiroth that exists now. And I feel like that's the one that we see walk past Parma in the Shinra building.
Oh yeah, the black cloaked ones. That's just black cloaked people.
He's still going to try and kill Aerith. I agree with that completely. He's going to do what he did originally. And I think the scene is going to happen. I've got this weird theory that Sephiroth's going to stop Sephiroth, if you know what I mean. Like, seriously, and I think that's going to be a big divergence point. Like, that's going to be the moment where everything starts to change in Remake. That's just a weird little theory that I've got in my head. I'm keeping it in my pocket, and we'll see how that pans out.
That's always good. Don't throw away theories, even if there's so much out in the wild. Just keep them in your pocket or in your drawer or somewhere else, and
store it. Make sure you mention it a few times so people know about it. Yeah, that's the one.
The best thing is mention all the theories there are before anybody else does, and then you can say in any case, "Told you so."
You win. Yeah, you win. Then. That's it. You are winner.
Yes.
But yeah. I agree with you completely. It's more likely that it's the planet that saved Zack. Like, I cannot see it being Sephiroth because it's so much of a reach to make it work if it's
exactly.
Sephiroth. And I can't see him doing that. So yeah, I agree with you. The planet, definitely.
I like the theory that obviously Sephiroth is, there's one just that's going through the same beats in OG that's, this is what's going to happen and Aerith is going to get killed. But I do like the future Sephiroth idea of, he has all this knowledge. So maybe before like the Aerith death scene, like it's going to happen, maybe the future Sephiroth pulls Cloud into that, black hole or whatever. And he says, listen, like there's 7 seconds to the end. It's like time space continuum, it kind of like time goes by slower. You know
so
what
like
I mean?
He doesn't stop Sephiroth, but he facilitates Cloud stopping Sephiroth.
Well, maybe future Sephiroth is giving Cloud the choice, like, this is where everything is about to change. So, and he knows how much Cloud, it changes him that really Aerith is gonna die, and how it impacts him. So, but maybe that's when he reveals that, maybe he has Zack trapped, and he's using Zack as a bargaining chip, like, oh, you can only save one. Which one are you going to choose, basically?
I feel like it'd work just to put that pressure on Cloud. Like, just putting that amount of pressure on Cloud, like, this is what's about to happen. Are you good enough to stop it?
Yeah.
Like, because we all know that Sephiroth's goal is messing with Cloud for the most part. Like, if he can't get exactly what he wants, he's like, okay, I'm just going to mess with Cloud for a bit then. That works. And we've seen him say it so many times, like, I'll just carry on. We'll just carry on doing this. I'm fine. I'm in no rush. You've got time. And,
Sephiroth probably already knows that if this were to happen, like he knows that if he, uses Zack against him, maybe as a choice, like you can save one of them. We already know what happens in the end of the OG when Aerith dies. We know. So I don't know. Maybe it's like she lives, but Zack dies, and that's the version of Sephiroth knows that that's how what has to happen for him to ultimately win. I don't know. I just kind of had that thought process.
The only thing I can say against this notion is my conclusion, which is already also now online since Friday, is that the Sephiroth, that all-knowing Sephiroth we see in the first part, that specific one kind of won't appear anymore because that's the future one who injected himself back into the memories of the live stream through Cloud to mess with Cloud, and in the end with the others. But now that fate is no more, that stuff has changed. The future he comes from will also change and different. And do you remember in the ending scene where Cloud has the feather and then crushes it and it dissipates into dust.
Mhm.
And also the feather that Sephiroth leaves behind at the edge of creation. It feels like that Sephiroth that came back to change things has done his work and is gone automatically because now the timeline has changed, basically. So the only thing that could change, he could have been influencing, is that he sown seeds, which we didn't see yet,
Yeah.
for the now future who will be different, who kind of like fail safes he did maybe plant fail safes on his own like the Whispers did, but we didn't know it.
Well, he could have easily implanted some of his memories into Genova as well.
Yeah.
And into the live stream
Something
itself,
like
so
that.
his counterpart can pick up on it.
Yeah, because the real Sephiroth is sitting in North Crater reading the
Yes.
live stream.
Exactly.
Basically.
This is what you need to do so that our future doesn't go bad, basically.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
You also see already like notice that the Sephiroth, the black cloaked Sephiroth we see in the Shinra building, kinda knows a little bit more. He's different. He's still normal, like in the OG kinda, but still something's different. He's also bailing out Genova, fighting the others through Genova.
Much more
Kills
aggressive.
Barrett as well, because Barrett's there to try and stop him or something like that. It's different circumstances, but still those different circumstances will have primed him differently.
Yeah, they'll have an effect down the line.
Definitely an effect.
Another thing as well, if it does turn out that that is the case and that Sephiroth from the future's done now, because his timeline has changed, it confirms 100% that Zack has not survived in this timeline. Because the same thing would happen with Cloud. If you get what I'm saying. So if it is confirmed that future Sephiroth's done, he's gone, because of a ripple effect, like the thing that he's done has changed Remake to the point that it changes his future. Surely we'd see the same thing from Zack and Cloud to the Cloud in Remake, if you know what I mean.
You mean Zack and Cloud, the ones we see
For the two who
the
survived
ending,
and walked past. Yeah. So because they've survived and walked past, it confirms to me that they are existing in the live stream or something like that. Because if they had actually survived in the real world, Cloud would have some, there'd be some effect on the Cloud that we've been playing as.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So if it does turn out that future Sephiroth's gone now, we know that Zack's in the live stream, 100%.
Oh yeah, for sure. Also, if it's really in the corrupted part of the live stream, the one, because I'm pretty sure that since Advent Children corruption has spread, that's why the planet is now dying without giving it back to the cosmos, and Omega is also no more to be able to bring it away.
Yeah.
That one is kind of unaffected from the rewrite. I have a feeling a corrupted live stream parts, like the stagnant live stream, that one's unaffected from this this whole rewrite of reality, because I think those are separate. Like the stagnant live stream Nero taps into doesn't seem to be part of the normal live stream, normal memories and stuff. I think that's
so it's like separated away from the actual live stream.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
That's also why Sephiroth needed to open a portal to where he was imprisoned. Negative live stream. It's not the same realm as the normal live stream, normal memories. No worries.
Right.
So yeah, so far it all fits, but still certain aspects still feel a bit fan fictiony. But
yeah, there's a few little vital bits of information that we've not.
That as well, yeah. That as well.
And this is it. Once we get that, everything will fall into place.
Yeah.
It's so much fun theorizing about it, though. I'm having so much fun.
That's good. That's the most important thing here.
The thing that I've been saying is that when everything is said and done, the final thing that actually happens is probably not as good as everybody's theories that we've all come up with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're just going to be disappointed. We're going to be like,
good point.
Oh man, they could have done this. They could have done, like, what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's never gonna be what we're talking about or what we want it to be, which is fine. It's just I think it's who knows.
That's also probably why I was a little bit disappointed with Chapter 2 of Intermission. As I said before, it was a bit too much rushed, and
well, look at all the things that we were expecting. We were kind of hoping that we'd see why Kate Sith was watching over Platefall.
Right.
We were hoping we'd get something
totally
for that.
forgot about that. Yeah,
we were hoping we'd get something about Avalanche storming Shinra HQ as well. While everyone's trying to escape at the end, because you've got all those explosions going off and Wedge is there.
Yeah,
and we got none of it.
And what happened to President Shinra? Why is he hanging off the roof there? Who chucked him out of the window?
And there were some good theories, man. Like, I think Sleep Easy and you, there were so many good theories out there for what could happen.
Yeah.
None of it got in, so yeah, you might be right there, Kai. We're in trouble.
Yeah, we're in trouble. We should just stop making videos and just enjoy the game. We're ruining it for everyone.
Square Enix needs to hire us all. That's what you're saying. So we can write the stories.
There we go. We have ideas.
Yeah, well, they want to retire at some point. Come on.
Yeah.
We can take over.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like when TV shows have got like the first run, and then that finishes, and then someone brings it back 15 years later.
Yeah.
That's us. That's us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Love it.
Exactly. All right. I think we'll let Zach rest for a little while, the poor boy. And
Poor Zach.
And yeah, some more thoughts about this those post-credit scenes, like certain specific parts. I think we already talked about Yuffie's segments. I think I have a few notes later on, like Aerith's reaction and stuff.
Yeah. I think the only other thing is that storm. Like the visual kind of the storm rolling into calm.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, I think we've covered most of it there.
Yeah, for sure.
But that storm definitely sets the scene.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think it leads into what you're about to speak about next.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's true, because there's also storm going when the flashback starts.
Yep.
Thunderstorm and the rain. So definitely, that's what I love. It's so multi-layered. Like
yes,
the storm. It says a storm is coming. Like for the whole rest of the story. It also relates a little bit to like Zack's situation, especially where Aerith has this knot in her stomach, but also because she might feel what's coming next, but she doesn't really know what. And like you just said, it like the weather is kind of this transition from this post-credit scene to the start of the next game.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure I don't need to ask you to where you think part 2 should start.
I'm pretty much with you. Like, I would be amazed if it doesn't start in that truck.
Yeah.
I would be absolutely shocked. The only thing that I could think is that we might get a little scene of them sitting down in the end. Where they go upstairs and they sit down and the conversation starts, and then we'll take control in the truck.
Yeah.
They're the only two options for me. I don't think we're going to start like 100 yards down the road from Calm or anything like that and have to walk in there.
No, that's boring. A boring start to just walk into town, walk around and stuff.
Be dramatic.
Yeah.
Show us that flair.
Thoughts I had was there will most likely be another cinematic intro.
Yeah.
So what if we maybe even see the Condor again flying over Calm, and then he zooms in and something, and then maybe
it's like over the desert or whatever.
Yeah. Then they sit down. Maybe some says, "So what about the Sephiroth guy?" And then Cloud starts. Doesn't really start telling, but okay, so
remembers.
5 years ago. Then it fades into this thing, and then it's actual gameplay or normal gaming graphics, something like that. Or it's only like a shot of the nature landscape, what have you, Calm. We also follow a bird again, and which may fly over Nibelheim, and then follows a path, and then we see a truck in the distance coming closer, and the
Yeah.
bird
Yeah, I
flies
would
over
like
a
that.
truck, and then we zoom into the truck. Something like that
Mhm.
could also
That'd
happen.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking that'd be a very nice intro.
Yeah, because the first part starts with this weird disheveled black gray bird,
Yeah.
and it ends, at least if we cut out. It's not really the last scene. It's got, I think, the second to last scene before the rain starts, where the condor flies over them,
Yeah.
and I think it then flies towards Fort Condor, if my analysis
Yeah,
is
that would
correct.
be cool.
Yeah. So it kind of starts and ends with a bird, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
It would be cool for part 2 to start with the bird as well, kind of.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it's kind of a theme they've established now as well, because even in the trailer for Final Fantasy VII Remake, it started with that white.
With
It
the
was like an
dove.
eagle.
A
Yeah,
dove was
yeah.
in the teaser, yeah.
And yeah, it definitely seems like it's going to be an image that they're going to keep on going with, I think. So
Yeah.
yeah, I really like that one that you said a minute ago with, you've got the bird flying over Calm, then maybe over the ocean,
Yep.
then towards Nibelheim, then you zoom in and there's a truck. Yeah, that works. I'm a
Yeah.
big fan of that. Because, I mean, I don't know who it was that I was speaking to the other day, but starting and ending in Nibelheim makes a lot of sense.
Yes. For
It
sure.
really does. As a narrative loop,
Mm-hmm.
just makes sense. So yeah, I'd be
Really good bookend.
yeah, I'd be so up for it as well. And it means that we're probably going to see some changes in Nibelheim when we get there, because
Yeah.
there's got to be a big finish. You know what I
Yes,
mean? You've got to
yes,
have a
yes.
boss. God.
Yeah.
And I don't think Lost Numbers going to cut it.
Nah.
It was a fun fight back in the day, but I don't think Lost Numbers going to cut it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they can do though. I mean,
Well, Lost
maybe-
Number could be kind of a sword repeat kind of deal. Like it's
Yeah.
just a boss in between.
but then where did they add something in? Did they add something in at Mount Nibel, maybe?
Yeah,
I think that's the only place.
Yeah,
really,
the
isn't it?
reactor.
Mount
We need
Nibel.
to end somewhere
Yeah.
at the reactor or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's got to be.
I'm still racking my brain over it, how they could sensibly expand this the part there. That's probably
Yeah.
because we don't know all the details they've already planned out with Sephiroth
Right.
and Zack and the new Destiny and all
That's
those
true.
things.
Yeah, because one of the things that I was thinking of is like places where they're gonna, like under Sector 7, you've got the testing, you've got that facility that's under Sector 7,
Yeah.
haven't you?
Deep ground.
I've kind of been thinking of places where they could add other things like that in, and Gongaga's quite a strong one for me.
True,
Because
yeah.
they could use it to kind of explain what went down with the reactor there and things like that.
Mm.
Because I don't think we've ever actually had an explanation on the reactor, have we?
Maybe just a malfunction or monster infestation, just something that
Yeah.
it
So
got
they could
destroyed.
really lean into that and add a facility there in a similar manner to that facility under Set 7. But like you just said, when you come to Nibelheim, I don't know what they could add. It's a tough one. How they could expand that area so that it
Well-
makes a suitable finishing spot.
They could introduce Vincent there, just like they introduced Red 13 at the end of the Midgar arc, as a uncontrollable guest character, and
Which would make sense with
lean
Vincent's
into it
character as
because
well.
Vincent needs to be introduced like to a much more let's say deep, more deeply rooted into lore and
Yes.
the happenings and the story, because seriously, he's
He's the
barely
only
a
person
character in the OG.
Yeah, he's the only person that's at every single stage of the story, except for Genova crash landing 2,000 years ago.
That's true.
At
30 years
every other
ago,
point of the story, he's involved in some way.
yeah, he was a Turk with
Yep.
Hojo involved. He has literally chaos inside of him, which is the ancient of the basically of the Omega protocol,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
which kills everything and returns all life back to the live stream, so Omega can fly off with it. So he is such an integral part to the lore and the story. Seriously, so they
Yes.
need to It's hard because it's about Sephiroth and Cloud when you talk about Nibelheim, but still Vincent and Hojo's experiments there and the Black Cloaks, and yeah, I think they could do something there.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes down.
Yeah.
100%. There's a lot of things that go down in Midgar. I'm just not in Midgar,
In
Nibelheim,
Nibelheim,
but
yeah.
I'm just struggling to see an
Yeah.
ending there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel
They'll come
you.
up with
I feel you.
something, I'm sure. I'm sure they'll come up
Mhm.
with something that works. But my brain just cannot fathom what it is at the moment.
Yeah, I have ideas, but nothing that is really satisfactory for me.
Yeah. The first trailers we get for Remake Part 2 are going to do a lot of work for us. Like, they're going to bring out, because we're going to see hints of what's coming in the game,
Yeah.
and we'll be able to work backwards from there. I know you're not the biggest fan of final trailers, though.
No, final trailer spoiled too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are a bit spoilery.
Mm,
Especially if you've got an idea what's going on already.
yeah.
Yeah, because you can just easily put it together and
Mhm.
be like, oh,
Yeah.
we're doing that how
Yeah. That, and they also reveal characters and scenes and stuff I just
Yeah.
want to experience for the first time while playing.
Mhm.
So I'll most likely just skip the final trailer again for part 2, 3, and 4, whatever.
I'll probably spoil myself. I know what I'm like. Oh, I'll make a video on it.
Yeah.
I'll be sad afterwards. Once I sit down and actually think about it, I'll be like, oh,
Mm,
I've ruined that. But yeah,
cry yourself to sleep.
Yeah, won't be the first time. But no, Nibelheim 100% makes sense.
Yeah. Definitely. All right. We already talked about where we'll meet Yuffie.
Mhm.
So I have written down a few other smaller things. Yeah, kind of the Condor in the epilogue. We already touched on that. I don't think we need to talk about it unless you have more words about the Condor in INTERmission's ending scene. But
No.
not really.
No, not really. I think it's just like we were saying, it's just going to be that continuing
Exactly.
visual theme.
Yeah.
It seems like,
Yeah.
They'll tie it in some way. They'll do something with it eventually, I think.
Yeah,
I'm not
for
sure
sure.
what, but at the minute, yeah, I think it's just kind of a visual nod sort of thing.
Yeah, I think so too. And what I also thought about, and I don't think anybody has anything really tangible on that point, but does Aerith asking Barrett about the length of the day mean anything in terms of story lore or anything? Or is it just
Red
small
herring.
talk?
Yeah.
I'm leaning more towards small talk. Like,
Yeah, I
the
think
differences
so.
between the two.
Mhm.
Like character building, so to speak.
Yeah, it was just that. Yeah, it's definitely that fleshing out of the characters. I think the more important things happen slightly afterwards with Aerith and how she's feeling in general. But as far as this goes, the length of a day, I don't know. I think it could be maybe just making kind of like a nod to perception and that
Yeah.
sort of thing more than anything.
Mm.
But I don't think it says anything explicitly, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, probably not. Because the thing is, the live stream itself doesn't really know the concept of time.
Yeah.
And Aerith is pretty much tied to the live stream. So maybe it's just like a small reference to this concept that time can be longer, shorter, whatever. Depends on the perception, as you said before. I don't think it's more than that.
It's definitely going to be fun to learn more about the Scepter and their powers, because, I mean, we
Yeah.
kind of get a little bit in the Tracer 2 pasts with Aerith, where we kind of see how, when Aerith appears to Cloud during the resolution scene, and like in the original game, where she appears to Cloud after the Temple of the Ancients, we kind of get a little bit more on how that works, with Ifalna reaching out to Aerith.
Yeah.
And from the way the scene goes, it kind of feels like Ifalna's in control of the scene.
Yeah.
The people in it can't really communicate with each other. And yeah, that on top of Aerith being able to manipulate that portal during the final sequence, at chapter 18, it kind of all just makes me think that we might see or get a much more much more of a deeper look at what the Cetra are able to do and what they're capable of. And it is possible that maybe they do perceive time differently based on what they're able to do and their connection to the live stream. But at the same time, I think this was just, like you say, a throwaway thing.
Yeah. Well, when you think back at those Cetra spirits in the Temple of the Ancients, those certainly are a weird bunch.
I forget about them all the time, little purple boys.
Yeah, and they definitely perceive time differently. And there's even a time guardian in the middle. The hands, the clock hands. That's the Temple of the Ancients is really a weird thing with time and retaining souls, and it is the black materia basically, the whole temple. Yeah. So this. Yeah, I'm really looking forward, as you said as well.
You've got me thinking now. You've got me thinking about that now. Look at what you've done. Look at what you've done. That's 3 more videos.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'm providing your fans with content, kinda.
Yes. I'll tell them to make the check payable to Vyzz.
Yeah. Here's my account. PayPal link.
Oh, love it. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna be thinking about that now. Because I completely forgot about those other ancients in the Temple of the Ancients.
Yeah.
You know, they do.
Yeah,
it does kind of indicate that there is like a different flow of time almost.
Also,
there.
like dimension, like it's different. The first area is kind of this MC Escher like weird maze with the stairs,
all the stairways,
the weird ones, and even the projection of Sephiroth almost killing Song in this weird purple pond, where Sephiroth, his essence itself, is watching how Aerith and Cloud are watching. So he's aware that they are watching.
He's kind of floating through it, isn't it?
This part is so weird because it's I don't think when Cloud sinks into the floor after using the key of the ancients.
Yeah.
I don't think they're actually within a normally built pyramid. They're within the essence of the black materia, the memories that reside within the black materia. I'm pretty sure that's it. Like everything that's sealed within the black materia, the memories that went into it from whoever created it. I don't know.
Proper set me off on
yeah,
one.
and also those ancients were maybe they were part of its creation or something like that, which got trapped in there or actively there to protect or prevent its activation, that it can be taken away, something like that.
Kind of makes me think as well, like, is that a secondary function of the black materia, maybe? And could that also then become the vehicle for, like we were saying about how the live stream's been corrupted by these memories of the future? Could that be the vehicle that Sephiroth's used? Because I would assume that the black materia is inert at that point. He's cast meteor, it's failed. He doesn't do it again, so it makes me think that there's no, that power's now been exhausted. Could he have used the black materia in an additional way? And that would be where, when he opens the portal at the end of the highway and we go into that separate realm, which is built like Advent Children, holds the memories of that time frame. Oh, I'm
I set you off on a tangent there, or on a different road.
I'm going to have to think about that later.
That's good. That's good. Looking forward to future videos.
I like it.
Does anybody of you have thoughts about the different music in Integrate's intro? Because the music is a little bit different. Like the chant, Sephiroth's chant, and other aspects are a little bit different during the intro cinematic in Integrate.
I'm not sure. It could have been that they just stylistically wanted to change it or touch it up, or I have no idea. I hope it has some kind of a meaning, or...
I mean, it's possible that they've just done it just to differentiate, just to be slightly different to the remake one. I don't know. I'm not 100% on this one myself. I'm not convinced that there is an intention behind it. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe it's just a different version, like the final version, but the other one was kind of a preliminary version, as they hadn't really
Yeah.
finished it, but needed to ship the game or something.
Maybe.
But on the other hand, the chant, the lyrics are
Yeah.
different.
Yes.
That's the main thing. The other changes could just be cosmetic, kind of, but
Yeah.
the different
Yeah.
lyrics.
There's definitely there is a difference there.
And you can't really understand it.
Yeah, this is the thing. If it was clear, if there was
Yeah.
clarity, then it'd be different. But
It's as if the voices of the planet are fading. Like the first time you play through it, they're still there, they're visible, they're audible, and it's Sephiroth chant. But now that you know what it's like what happens, you play through it again with knowledge of the game already. It's like the planet is closer to the end, sings a different song,
yeah,
but it's barely audible anymore.
yeah, because at the start of Remake, you've got like the Sephiroth chant kind of comes in at certain points, doesn't it?
Yeah,
and it kind
yeah.
of indicates like Sephiroth's here.
Yeah.
Could it be a case of because we're slightly later in the story when Yuffie arrives at Midgar?
It is
It's
later.
just to kind of indicate that slight difference because Sephiroth's already been here for a little while now. He's already started kind of making his moves, so to speak.
Maybe,
That
yeah.
could maybe explain it. It might be representative of the state of the narrative at the minute.
There's so much meta stuff going on in the
Yeah.
remake. So many elements. It's crazy.
Yeah, I appreciate a lot of it, but I'm worried they will go too far with it. That is one of my concerns.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know. I don't know. I hope not. I believe in them. I believe.
No, for now I'm still trusting them. My trust
Yeah.
is still there. It's in the positive.
I'm there.
Yeah.
But no, that is an interesting one with the music.
Yeah, for sure. There are also two other slight differences I noticed. I'm so glad I wrote this down because I haven't listened to it in a while and I would have forget about them. But if you remember, while it's zooming out in the original version of the song, there's this
Yeah.
sound effect going on, and this has returned in this version. It was gone. It was not there in the original vanilla version.
Ooh.
You need to listen to both.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get them.
Or just watch
Check
the
them
intro
out.
again because then you know when it appears. But the only thing that bothers me is the falling with the meteor and the bombastic is not synced up anymore.
It's not synced. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the only thing. The rest is okay. But
I
that's,
noticed that too.
Yeah,
I was like, why
that's
is it?
kind of off. Maybe also because the planet is dying. Things are falling apart. I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or it's because everything is just a VR simulation.
Yeah.
It's a glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. It always comes back to the Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough to keep track of though because there's so many things that they do that are little subtle hints to things.
It's so much.
You end up finding yourself looking for hints that aren't there almost.
Yeah.
Although I will say that this music, if it was a little bit different, it would be one thing, but it is a fair bit of a difference. Like it's the same song, but different, and yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that a bit more potentially.
And one other detail. There's if you remember, there's a transition between Reactor 5, gushing out Mako, and then Aerith appearing. There's a transition between a burn and then the live stream melody starting, and this dark tone rests longer before the live stream melody starts. So
because then
there's
you hear
more
it again
dark
in the background, the Sephiroth thing, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. It's like this last dark tone. This eerie tone lasts longer.
Is that the one that hangs until she picks the flower up?
Yeah, that hangs before then it transitions into the live stream melody, the high pitched live stream melody, and Aerith appears. And this live stream melody kicks in later. It's as if the live stream is pushed back by
Slower.
the corrupted low tone or something.
Yeah.
There's something there, I tell you. It's not just a little bit of cosmetics because somebody thought, vanilla version
change
is
it up a
boring.
bit.
Let's just change it up a little bit. Or
Yeah.
something that's just changed up random stuff and thought, this will keep the fan base going for another 2 years or something.
I would not put
Has
it past
no
them.
meaning. It's just
Genuinely wouldn't. But no, there is, especially with the stuff that we've already seen, like you've gone through in your videos. I'm pretty sure it's the first episode, I think it is, where you talk about this.
Yeah.
Like with the Sephiroth, like the One-Winged Angel lyrics kind of coming in and then fading out and then coming back in and things like that.
Also, the point in time where they kick in.
And yeah, the fact that they've already done things like that makes me think that there is something to it.
Yeah, there are too many details that are deliberate.
Yeah, they're not half-arsing this. They're definitely trying to squeeze everything they can in.
Yeah, it's their most important project thus far, so they need to just nail everything, if possible.
Ooh.
We'll see. As long as we don't get doors.
It's going to be interesting to see how that song sounds at the start of part 2. Whether or not it's a different introduction music or whether they continue with the evolution. That would be an interesting one.
It's hard to say because there's not really an established melody that they could use.
Switch to,
unless it just create a new one. Yeah, and the on that day 5 years ago, well, it's been on that. Yeah. Coupled with Sephiroth chants, I don't know.
Yeah, this is it. It could be like a transition between the two.
Yeah.
So we go from the remake to whatever we get in Remake Part 2, and they use it as kind of like a hint to what the narrative journey is going to be.
Yes, music and narrative, they're so much intertwined.
Yeah.
Maybe we won't see it because, like you said, the future Sephiroth that has gone back and whatever, like the visual was that, like you had said, he steps on the feather and it disintegrates, basically represents he's gone.
Yeah.
So like,
so why
the
would they
chants are
play
gone from the music?
Yeah, like the chant, like that wouldn't happen because that happened in the intro music because Sephiroth was there, which he wasn't.
Yeah, he
in the
came
original.
back to Midgar. Yeah.
So it was like a musical representation of why it was more clear in the original, maybe. And maybe we won't see it happening in the next part because if he's destroyed, he's no more because he's changed things. And like you said,
maybe we get it right at the start and it fades out and disappears then, and that's it. It's gone.
And that's what I was thinking. Maybe it was more muffled in Intergrade because maybe you're replaying everything again, so it's as if he failed and then had to go back again, but then he would be alive. So that doesn't make sense.
No.
That's why I stopped myself. Like that whole time paradox thing kind of, comes back and you're like, oh yeah, that's true. But anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, the music. It's just gets us going all the time.
And they put so much into it as well. Like the effort that they put into it yeah. There's definitely something there, but I'm not sure what, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Definitely. But what's probably a bit more clear, maybe not the reason, but did you notice that Scarlet's projection, the hologram, has no projector? Like it just appears out of nowhere.
Yeah, it just kind of like, poof, there we go.
Yeah.
Whereas with Heidegger, we see those little machines, those little drones, don't we?
The slug rays, yeah.
The only thing that I'd guess is that in that laboratory, there's built-in projectors maybe into the walls or the floors or something like that. That or it is just a pure oversight.
The thing is, you don't see light projected. It's just her and then a glow around her with the sort of particles, as if the air itself has already particles and stuff, and just they can form and start glowing or something. It's weird.
They've activated them.
Yeah, it's so strange. Kinda.
Yeah, it is a weird one. Giant Scarlet for the win, though.
Yeah. Giantess Scarlet.
Hello.
Step on me, as many people would say.
Oh, no.
I'm none of those. No. No stepping here. No stilettos.
Not on
Those
me.
hurt.
Oh, no. I'm going to stop.
Yeah, let's stop.
Well, yeah, I would guess that is just... They could explain it away by just saying, oh, yeah, it's built into the floor or the ceiling or something.
Yeah, it's just some weird VR tech.
Yeah, like it's different technology that people don't actually know exists because it's in deep ground, so they don't.
Yeah, true.
That's why they're showing the projectors for Heidegger, because people know that's what they use. This is probably like new tested.
They use
or
weapons and stuff. Yeah,
It's like new technology that hasn't actually been finalized or isn't accessible to other portions, like other people. I guess within Shinra, maybe they don't have the clearance to be able to use it or something. I don't know.
Or because she's in charge of creating materia and stuff, this is just some sort of materia memory thing.
Yeah, maybe she's harvesting the power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Really hard to say. Anyway, it's bothered me and I had to bring it up.
Needed to get it
That's crazy.
out there.
Yeah.
I played it. I didn't even think about that at all. I didn't even realize, honestly.
I
were
look
just
at the
distracted.
weirdest things.
Yeah. I was too busy staring at
Yeah,
Scarlet.
I was
about to say,
mesmerized by Scarlet. Yeah, exactly.
Most of the people would
Hello.
just stare at Scarlet and stuff, and I'm just going, wait a minute, where are the projectors?
I will say though, I thought Scarlet was I thought she was good in Remake. I thought she
Yes.
was amazing in Intermission.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
yeah.
awesome.
Like we got a proper look on, we got to see what her motivations are and things like that a little bit more. And it was good because at the same time as we're fleshing out all of the party, like Barrett, Cloud, Tifa, all of those lot, I think it would make a lot of sense to flesh out the Shinra guys as well.
For sure.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, Heidegger was also fleshed out, especially in chapters 5, 6, and 7.
I mean, look how much of a clown he comes across as in the original game.
Yeah.
Like, he literally is a joke in the original game. Like, and Scarlet as well.
This weird
be
Russian
fair.
general or something.
Yeah, whereas they've completely flipped that on its head now. He still does the laugh a little bit. He still kind of comes across in that overbearing, over the top kind of way, he's a bit of an idiot. But he's
but
more
still,
realistic and believable.
His subordinates are terrified of him.
Yeah, 100%, because he's got that power.
It's more imposing, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a fan of Heidegger and Scarlet, and yeah.
I missed Reeve a little bit.
Arc. Reeve, yes.
But Reeve has time to shine later, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. I think that's going to be one way that they fix... Oh, well, it kind of depends on your perspective. I didn't like Kate Sith as a character in general in the original game. Wasn't a fan. I think that they could do a lot of work with Reeve and connecting you to the Kate Sith character through Reeve, because you don't really get that much in the original game. You get a couple of scenes later on where you flip back to Reeve.
Yeah.
But I think they could do a lot more of that, and he could be our eyes into Midgar now.
Yeah.
So every so often throughout the story, we cut back to Reeve and we see what's going on with Midgar and Rufus and everything like that.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah, definitely. But still in a way that doesn't really give away that he's in control of Cat Chi or Kate Sith or whatever.
Well, when do we find out that it's Reeve?
Pretty late. I think it's
I can't remember now.
after Rufus supposedly
Is it when he
dies.
gives the materia?
No, it's much later.
So we still don't know it's Reeve at that point.
Yeah, it's
Right.
shortly after Rufus supposedly dies, and then he talks to the party, and Scarlet comes in, and then why are you why are you talking in such a weird accent? I think that's the point.
Yeah, just after Diamond Weapon, and
Yeah, exactly. I think it's there. I hope I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but listen, they can change that.
Yeah,
Make it
they
so
can
that
fix things.
That's
you
true.
know.
I thought about that as well. Yeah,
like the
that's
original,
true.
it's so late, but if it applies to what they're trying to do, then it would make sense to change that and have it so that
Yeah.
maybe it's,
The only other option would be Sung, I think. And see things through his perspective. So if we ever do get a flashback to Midgar, we kind of see what's going on with him. Because we've kind of had that a few times already in Remake, haven't we? Where we cut to Seng in a certain situation, like with Rufus or with Rude and Reno and things like that. So maybe they go with that. That's another option, possibly.
Yeah, I hope so, definitely. If they reveal the connection earlier, it still needs to be after the Temple of the Ancients, because otherwise his sacrifice wouldn't hit as hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I was so happy when that guy sacrificed himself. Yes, he's gone. No, he's back.
No, I found him endearing in the Temple of the Ancients. Before he was eh.
He definitely salvages himself a little bit, doesn't he?
Yeah. And when he rags on Barrett because of his hypocrisy and stuff, and terrorism.
That's good.
That's a really good scene with Ketchy, for sure. Here, the last thing I've written down I want to talk about is the Valkyrie 2.0. Do you remember that? There's in Scarlet's materia storage, whatever that area is called. I think on the 3rd floor it is. Like we are at the bottom, go up. I think it's on the 3rd or something. That in one corner there's a different model of the Valkyrie. It looks much more modern and like better shielded and stuff.
Yeah, like upgraded.
Yeah. I really hope we get to fight that one in part 2 or so, or something.
You're going to have to fight me later. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No, they've done that with a couple of things, though, because, I mean, you see in... I can't remember where it is. I think it's in the slums somewhere, but you know what? In the original game, when you head into Cosmo Canyon and you get to that deserted area and you fight against them weird robots if you're running around in the wild? They're like a box. They're like a really boxy robot that you fight against. And there's a couple of them deconstructed in a pile in the sector, I want to say sector 6 slums, but I might be wrong on that. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that Valkyrie 2.0 definitely circles around, just like I think they will as well.
Which boxy robots do you mean right now? I'm
let me check. 1 second. This is. I have to do this.
But they didn't appear in Remake, right?
No, they didn't. I don't think they did.
The only thing that comes to mind are the golems.
Yeah, that's it. The golem.
Oh, it's the golem. Which one is it? The iron golem or something in Cosmo Canyon?
Yeah,
there's a darker one. There's a brown one and a small blue one in the snowy area.
This one's like the greeny brown one.
The green brown, yeah. I think that's around there. Yeah, that's a Cosmo Canyon.
We see a few of them kind of deconstructed in the slums. So yeah,
really?
I think they've slipped a lot.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
I think they've slipped a lot of little things like that in where you're going to see me later.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's quite that one, but it could represent.
It's similar-ish.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, "Oh, hello, it's you. Hello, my friend."
Yeah. No, I think you mean Sector 5, right? When you're running around with Aerith.
Is it 5?
Yeah.
Right. I knew it was one of them. My memory is appalling.
Yeah, it's near the door with Corneo's stash.
Yeah, it's kind of off to the side a little bit, isn't it?
Also, the like exosuit weird robots where it can sit inside are also there.
Yes. Well, yeah, I think that Valkyrie 2.0 will definitely be seeing that.
Like, I really hope so.
Probably when we come back to Midgar.
Yeah, at the latest. Yeah.
It
would be a shame to design such a cool enemy and not use it.
Yeah, I think we're definitely there's going to be a bit of a crazy boss rush kind of scenario that happens in Midgar when we go back. If it's all kind of stayed the same at that point. Yeah. And yeah, they're just going to be throwing everything at us. Like yes. I hope they make that fight with the Turks in the train, in the subway. I hope they make that mandatory as well, because you can miss that fight. Well, you don't miss it. You just say no. I'm not fighting you. Go away.
Yeah, if you help them in or team it up in Wutai, if you didn't, there's no option there.
Oh, is that? Oh,
Yeah.
I did not know that.
If you either ignore Wutai or no, I think it's mandatory to team up with them if you go through the Wutai arc. But if you don't,
Yeah, if you do the Wu Tai story, you have
Yeah.
to. Yeah.
yeah. If you don't, if you ignore Wutai, then you have no options to skip the Turks. Then they will fight you.
To be fair, I always fight them anyway. Just
Yeah,
'cause
me
you've
too,
got
because I
stuff.
want to steal stuff.
Yep.
Minerva Band, Cedric, and
Yeah, there we go.
yeah.
Oh, love it.
And the Tough Ring, I think, is the third one from
Yeah.
Reno. Yeah.
Yeah, two for Zedric, and what was the other one? Minerva. or
Minerva
something.
Band, I think, from
Minerva Band.
Elena.
Yeah.
Or Elena.
Oh, it's worth it.
I wonder if she's called Elena or Elena, because both is viable, I think.
Oh, we're getting into dangerous territory.
I hope we'll
I'm going to
see.
say Elena. I'm
Yeah,
going to say
I
Elena.
hope we'll see her in the first trailer of Part 2, the first proper trailer, like the first 3-minute trailer or something.
Well,
Because
yeah,
the
we should meet her quite soon.
Mithril mines are pretty early on, so
Yeah. It'd be nice to see how much they expand the Mithril mines as well, because I can't see it being 2 screens like it was.
no,
three
it's
screens.
bigger. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
it's
sure
gonna be
there's
huge.
lore around the Mithril mine with the miners, and there's monster infested,
Ooh.
and we have maybe killed the dragon there, and then they
Mm.
can continue mining. Maybe there's a mini game where we can mine stuff.
Oh,
I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
or maybe there's even a mining cart there where you can drive around or something.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Yeah.
Like maybe once you've gone through it once, you can go back the other way and forwards and backwards, then using the minecart.
Or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
This reminds me of Donkey Kong Country, the first one where I ride in the minecart.
Oh, yes.
Those are one of the funnest levels. Sometimes pretty hard to get certain gaps, but it was fun.
Yeah. Oh, we're going into the classics now.
Yeah. Always back to the classics. Love them.
Oh, you've got to do it. You've got to do it. Every now and again, I think everyone should have to go back and play some SNES games.
Yeah.
Get some
for
perspective.
sure. Yes.
See where we've come from.
Yep. Definitely.
I have so many games to play, guys. I just don't have enough time.
Yeah, my backlog is stupid. Like, I need to stop acquiring games, basically,
Yeah,
for a bit.
That's me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bad because I always end up either playing some version of Final Fantasy or Minecraft. It's really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm occupied with the Trails games for a while, so I'm
Yeah,
good.
seriously. I've been trying
Yeah,
to finish my hard playthrough. I haven't even finished yet of Remake.
Oh,
But
boy.
I have to do that. Yeah, and Intermission.
See, I was saving it for PS5 because
That's
you know
what I
I
was
wanted a
doing.
reason. I wanted a reason, but yeah, it's kind of dragging on a bit now, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I got back into it and played it for quite a bit, and then I became like I was too busy, so I just
Yeah.
stopped and was doing other things. And then when I have some time, I just play just games that don't have any story or anything. So I'm just not tied to
Yeah.
just drop in and drop out like Dota or Overwatch, something like that. But
Oh,
it's
no, the one
bad.
for
I need
me
to
at the
get away
minute-
from that. I need to actually
Yeah.
play other games. Like I started Tales of Arise, but I did not get very far.
You feel like you're wasting your time almost, don't you, when you don't play something substantial? But I know exactly what you feel because PS Plus just put PGA 2021
Yeah.
on free.
Exactly.
I've been playing that in between
Yeah.
various things, and yeah,
Mhm.
it's really fun.
Yeah.
I do love a golf game.
Gone again, fully wrecked at the Happy Turtle.
All right, guys. So that concludes today's episode of the Reunion Podcast. I just wanted to say thank you so much to you, Sector 6, for joining us for today's episode and taking time out of your busy schedule, to sit here and talk and I guess, formulate theories with you about, this game that we love so much. So thank you so much.
Oh no, thank you for having me. It has been an absolute pleasure. I just knew me and Vyzz were going to go down many tangents.
Yeah.
Oh no, it has been a pleasure, and yeah, definitely have to do it again at some point.
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely.
Definitely.
It was a long time in the making, I feel, because I reached
Yeah.
out to you a while ago and, we just couldn't make it work. So I'm glad that we could have you on today.
Oh, it's been brilliant. Thank you.
It was so much fun, for sure. Thank you for coming on.
All right, guys. So if you have any ideas for our up and coming episodes, you can write us. Our email is thereunionpodcast@gmail.com. Thereunionpodcast@gmail.com. We do have a Discord server as well, so you can go ahead and click the link for our Discord server, which is listed in the description of every episode. We do have a Twitter account. It's @reunion_podcast. So you can follow us on Twitter. I have been posting more regularly on Twitter, and also we sometimes do some awesome giveaways, so you can check us out there. We do have a Facebook page as well. It's Reunion Podcast, and our YouTube channel is The Reunion Podcast. So don't forget to like, sub, and also share a review if you feel so inclined. It is the best way to support us here on the podcast. And Vyzz, did you want to drop your socials for Cosmo Canyon Observatory?
For sure. You can find us on YouTube. Cosmo Canyon Observatory, it's pretty much the way to go. We also have a Twitter account where we post not so much lately, but I hope to get into it again to post small analysis gems. Where can be found at cc_observatory. And of course on Discord, and the link is on our Twitter page and on YouTube page and under every video in the description.
Perfect. And Sector 6, did you want to go ahead and tell our listeners where they can check you out?
Yeah, so you can find me usually shitposting or memeing or some sort of hot take or something like that on Twitter. And that's at sector_6_ because obviously Sector 6 was already claimed by someone. I hate that person and I will find that person one day. But for now, that's where you can find me, so at sector_6_ and on YouTube, the channel is, where is it now? It's youtube.com/sector6UK, all is one word. And yeah, I just do my thing. The big thing that I've got going on at the minute is the Big 7, which Vyzz himself has appeared on and graced me with his presence over there. And we will have to look at getting you yourself over there, Kairosis. So we will work on that. And yeah, come and say hi.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm on Facebook as well, but I don't really do the Facebook thing that much anymore. It's become a bit of a hellscape recently.
It's like, when is too much enough? Or too much, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's everywhere. But you can find me on there, Sector 6. I think it's just Sector 6. It might be Sector 6 UK. So it is Sector 6 UK. That's on Facebook as well. So yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you again, Sector 6, for joining us for today's episode. It was awesome to get to chat with you about this game, and all the best to you.
No, thank you for having me on, and it has been a pleasure speaking to both of you. And yeah, we'll definitely hit it again sometime.
Absolutely.
Pleasure was all mine, and yeah, until next time, I guess. Have fun, and take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Like yourself, slip all over the kill into the riptide.